I bet you didn't think we were going to hit you with the second one.
Surprise!
Yeah, we got you.
Boo.
It's Halloween, Bubba. Welcome back. Second one of the week.
I know, we don't normally turn out this many in the summer, let alone like this Halloween special
Well,
we're on.
we do. We usually throw some in the can at the beginning of the summer because then I leave for like multiple months and stuff. So we do stuff like this sometimes.
We just couldn't stay away. We
Yeah.
thought we have one more thing to tell you.
Yeah, we do. We have to do this other movie. Well, you think we'll do a Christmas one?
I don't know. We might do 3 Christmas ones
Yeah.
now at this
Let's
rate.
pledge right now. We're going to do 10 Christmas movies. We'll call it the 10 Weeks of Christmas.
Oh, we better get started.
Wait, what's the song? How many weeks of Christmas is that?
How many weeks of Christmas?
There's
12 days
Oh,
of
12
Christmas.
days of Christmas. Yeah.
Weeks, I
we'll
guess.
we'll do 12 episodes and we'll release them one a day in leading up to Christmas.
On the 3 weeks of Christmas.
Yeah, that's still
2
pretty.
weeks of Christmas.
That'd be a lame ass song,
Yeah.
so I'm glad you clarified that. Ladies and gentlemen, please take some time here and go watch Killer Klowns.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll be honest.
I think we're gonna get in the weeds.
We'll be in the weeds on this one. This is one that I think you want to be at least surface level familiar with because I don't know. It's gonna be really hard. We might have a quote off here at some point.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
This might be an episode that we don't do a great job of making it for our general audience.
Yep. You've got a fanboy in the house for this one. You've got a fanboy who absolutely adores this movie, and he's going to want to talk about specific moments and quotes that if you saw it 4 years ago, you might not remember. You probably need to check it out. And it's only 120 minutes, or not 120. It's only an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like an hour 25. It's not even an hour and a half.
It flies. It really does. I actually thought that we didn't need to rewatch this. I thought, let's just pop it. I mean, we watch this every year.
Yep.
I've seen this,
We do. We watch it every year.
so many times. I thought, yeah, and it's delightful. But I thought, let's just hop in. Let's just start talking. And you were like, no, it's only 2 hours. Let's watch it.
Not even 2 hours.
And just flew. Just flew.
Yeah, and for those people who are afraid of scary movies, what do you have to say to them about this movie?
Oh, this is not a scary movie.
Oh, okay. So what would you classify this as?
A good time?
So, you put it in the filmography category with, Gremlins?
Yes. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I think,
campy.
right? Yeah.
It definitely has moments that are suspenseful.
Uh-huh.
And, there's maybe 2 that
Little
we'll
creepy.
get into. That are
Little
like
creepiness.
ugh. But as somebody who cannot handle scary movies, really at all, this was not bad.
Yeah.
At all. It was like a 2.
Nice. Okay. Okay, so it's a 2 out of 10 on the scare factor for Rach.
Yeah. Yep.
Lovely. Okay. Well, sweet. Folks, if you didn't already hear, we're watching Killer Klowns this week. Rach, for those people who have not seen Killer Klowns and need to go see it, give them a little summation of what they can expect.
Well, again, stop right now and go watch it.
Yep.
I shouldn't even need to do a summation because if you're listening to this, you've watched it. But for those of you who think no, I'm gonna ride this out. I'm gonna see how this goes. Here's what you have to grasp onto. This takes place probably in the 80s.
Yeah. Yep. It came out in 88.
Yep. So that fashion, that style is very much out and about. We have basically a couple who come across this tent, this flying saucer tent. They see a shooting star, they follow it, they find a tent in the woods. The tent is full of these aliens who seem like they are up to no good. They go back to warn the town.
Well, because they don't look like aliens. When you say aliens,
Yes,
what do they look like?
They look like clowns.
They look like clowns.
They look like clowns. And
what are they doing to people?
Then the calamity ensues because the clowns are killer clowns. They're going around and, as clowns do, they turn people into cotton candy.
Cocoons.
And into...
Cocoons, Rage.
into balloons, or they just play like, clown-themed tricks on them. But it's all to eat them, I think, is what we figured out.
I think so too.
They eat humans.
I have a whole section where we're going to try to break down the science of this movie. We're going to really try to like figure out what is going on right now. So we'll try to put our heads together to figure that out. Rach, do you want to guess how old I was when I first saw this movie?
Oh, I should know this. You were 7?
Younger.
4?
I was 4.
You were 4?
I was at the babysitter. We watched scary movies at our babysitter. I think because there were some older kids there. I think I've already said this story one time on the podcast. But my parents were not happy when they found out we were watching like Jason Goes to Manhattan. We were watching all kinds of crazy stuff. And I got this Killer Klowns tape from my babysitter. She let me take it home to make a copy. And so I told my parents, I was like, hey, I want to make a copy of this movie. And so my dad like put them in, there's like 2 VHSs that are connected to each other to like, you have to play the movie to make the copy.
Oh my gosh.
The movie's playing and my dad's kind of in and out watching. I think my mom's gone at the time. And he kind of like is picking up little pieces of it or whatever. He's like, oh, that's strange. And then I remember he even wrote on the cover, you can put a little label on the VHS. He wrote Killer Klowns in his handwriting.
Yep.
And I think he just thought like Killer Klowns, that's just such a weird title for some kids movie. Like this is a weird kids movie. And then I was watching it like down the road like a couple weeks later, and he saw parts of it and he was like, oh my God, my 4-year-old has been watching this at his babysitter? And granted, it's not terrible. There's no nudity in it. There's not a lot of cussing in it. There's not like a ton of crazy things in it, but it's too much for a 4-year-old.
Oh.
It's not too much for maybe a 10-year-old, but for a 4-year-old, it's too much.
Yeah, and I'm going to push back on everything you just said.
Okay, go for it.
There is cussing in it. There is cussing in it.
We might lick a stick.
That's not cussing, but that would be sexual innuendo. There's a lot of that in the 80s. And nudity, yeah.
There's no nudity.
Do we forget that the girl who goes to the door to answer when she thinks it's a pizza guy, and she goes, pizza.
Oh, I love that girl.
In a negligee that's see-through.
Yeah, but you don't see anything.
Yeah, you do.
Like you see the impression.
Honestly, I'm a little disappointed in you. Look closer.
Oh well.
Look closer next time you watch it, because you can
There's
see.
that. There's Debbie's roommates, the clowns with. Do you want to explain this part of the movie when the Terenzi brothers fall into the ball pit?
We're already so into the weeds. I don't know if I can, but yeah, there's a lot of sexual innuendos across the board.
Yeah.
Across the board. Yeah, these like female clowns are
There's no actual nudity is my argument.
Okay.
There's no nudity.
Okay.
It would all be allowed in a PG-13 movie. They would not bump it to R.
No, that's true.
Yeah, if you like took out some of the cussing and you took out some of the graphic violence stuff, it'd be PG-13.
You should not have seen this at 4 years old. I would maybe let my 10-year-old watch it with some conversation about the language.
Yeah.
And the scary scenes, too.
Yeah, because you have to prep them for a couple moments.
Yeah. I don't want them crying and running into my bed in the middle of the night because they can't handle it. I am not about that.
Whoa, okay, get this. This was before I did the take it home from the babysitter, but I was still going to this babysitter, and I think this played a factor. For my 3rd birthday, my dad came out at this huge party. I had like all my family members there and family friends and stuff. There's videos of this. There's a lot of people at this party. My dad comes out dressed as a clown, and I freaked out. So not only did I like run away from him, we had this like patio furniture thing that like pergola. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And there were these posts. I ran away from my dad, and you see it in the video. I hit my face on the post. And then I run inside the house, and I go to the front door, and I like curl into a ball in the corner by the front door. And my dad had to come in, still dressed as the clown, and he's like taking off the nose, and he's wiping off the makeup. He's like, look, Ty, it's me, it's your dad. And I was freaking out. And I'm pretty sure, I don't have confirmation on this, but I'm pretty sure I had seen Killer Klowns at the babysitter as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, because while I think, clowns are kind of hit and miss with kids, but that's a pretty extreme reaction to it. That is a child who has seen Killer Klowns, I would say. Most kids would just be like, I don't like it. Or they would be okay with it. But
Well, there's people who are afraid of clowns, though. We'll get into what that's called. I have that in the format.
Oh, cool.
Were you afraid of clowns as a kid?
No.
You were not?
I think when I was 3 years old, I went as a clown.
Oh.
With my parents. I think both of my parents. I think we did like a family thing. We're all clowns.
Oh.
I'm from a long line of clowns.
Whoa. You guys all dressed as clowns, your whole family?
Just me and my mom and dad, yeah.
You were a little clown family?
Mm-hmm. I think it was really cute. I can show you the pictures. My dad's got suspenders on. We all have noses. My mom has a rainbow wig. I'm kind of like a clown with like a little red pajama suit almost.
And you know what's funny?
Hat.
Seeing like a family of clowns is almost scarier to me than seeing a single clown.
They're so cute.
Like, clown family.
Oh, I need to find that picture.
Well, Rach, let me tell you a little bit about this movie. We'll break it down. I know we have like so many things that we want to get to quotes-wise and everything like that too. I'm going to try to fly through some of this production stuff, but chime in as you will. So a little bit about this movie. Created by 3 actual brothers. What are their names, Rach?
Chiodo brothers.
Nice, you nailed it.
I thought you wanted to know like
No.
Bob Chiodo.
No,
Larry
their actual names are
Chiodo.
Charles, Edward, and Stephen.
Nope.
But they're the Chiodo bros.
Yeah.
Actual brothers, grew up in the Bronx, and my buddy Johnny, you've already heard this story, but the listeners have not, met one of the Chiodo brothers. And he told him, they met at a bar, and he told them, he's like, one of my best friends, seriously, no joke, has your movie in his top 5. Like, he thinks Killer Klowns is one of the best movies of all time. And he's like, no way, that's crazy. He's like, should we take a picture and send it to him? So they did. They sent me a picture. I don't remember which Chiodo bro it was. But, yeah. So he knows. One of the Chiodo brothers knows about me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You better find that picture,
Very
too.
exciting.
You better post that also.
I think it's gone. I think it's long gone.
No, we'll find it.
So in 1986, these guys are really into creature effects. They did creature effects for the movie Critters. Rach,
Ooh.
what is the movie Critters about?
Also aliens.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
they are aliens.
And they're fluffy.
Yeah, kind of spiky.
Wait, maybe we're not talking about the same thing. Aren't they little fluff balls?
Well, they are. They're like little spike balls.
Oh.
Yeah, but they kind of look fluffy if you're kind of just like looking at them for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you know I haven't seen that movie, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
They shoot like little needles out of their backs and stuff, and
okay.
yeah, they're a little more spiky than they are
Thinking
fluffy.
of something else.
But
Then.
you're right about they roll around like those things in Star Trek. What are those things called? Those little fluff balls?
Star Trek has fluff balls.
Yeah. Yep. Trekkies will know what I'm talking about.
I don't watch Star Trek, right?
I do. Yeah, they're little rolly balls.
Okay.
Yep. You haven't seen Critters, huh?
No.
Should check that out.
Are you surprised by that?
No, not at all. Not at all. So they're doing movies like Critters and some other creature effects movies, and the idea came to Steven when he was like, what is the scariest thing I could possibly imagine right now? And he imagined himself driving up this like lonely mountain road, and it's just him and nobody else for miles, except he looks over and he sees a clown driving right beside him. So that's what the inspiration was for this entire flick.
Wow.
He had this image, and then everybody ran with it. The Chiodos were all like, what if they're alien clowns? What if they put people in cotton candy cocoons, and popcorn?
What a leap that is. To take it from a creepy clown driving beside you to like, and they're aliens.
And they're aliens.
Yes, and. I think that happened.
There's a lot of yes anding.
Yeah, in this room, I think no one was saying no, and everybody was just being a supportive improv partner. Yes, and.
So you have to have a weakness for your villains, right? And what weakness did they settle on for these clowns?
Yep, so the only way that you can kill these clowns is if you shoot them right in the nose.
Yep.
Right, bopped in the nose.
You shoot them in the nose. You can almost like pop their nose. Like at the end, he brings out his pin and he almost just like pops the nose.
Oh, he does for the big one.
Like a big balloon.
The big one, yeah.
Yep.
And then, you pop it and then they start to spin really fast and then they kind of just explode into glitter dust.
Yeah, confetti. It's like a
really
party.
Beautiful, to be honest.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. It looks kind of like Wizard of Ozzy, like emeraldy.
Yeah.
Right before they explode into confetti. So where do you think they got this idea? Do you have any ideas?
I think probably one was probably bopped in the nose, and we know how much
You cried.
that like instantly like makes anybody like instantly like a 2-year-old. You're like, ow, 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 ow. My eyes water. So I'm guessing again it was that whole like yes and mentality.
They're like, hey, what really hurts and sucks? We get bopped in the nose.
Bopped in the nose. You're
They're
funny
playing
bone.
basketball and somebody chest passed it right into the nose. That's the worst.
Oof.
That's worse. I've gotten punched in the face, and I've gotten a basketball thrown at me, and I just didn't get my hands up in time, and it hit me in the face. The basketball is 100 times worse than the punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We just think the surface area. That's huge.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's like a smack to the
And
whole face.
it's embarrassing because the punch, you know it's coming. The basketball, it's just like you should get your hand up to stop that.
Yeah, I often think like when I get punched in the face how cool I look, and I also think like how lame I look when a ball hits me in the face.
Yeah.
So I could see, I could
You
totally
get
see
the
why that would
conundrum.
make you feel lame.
Well, they actually borrowed this concept from zombie culture.
The bopped in the nose.
Yeah, well, that you got shot in the nose because they get shot in the brain. If you shoot a zombie in the brain, did you know that that's how you beat them?
No, that's not.
Yeah, it is.
No.
You can shoot
you
them
have
in
to
the
cut
chest.
their head off, and you have to set their body ablaze.
I think you're
When you
thinking of
shoot 'em in their
vampires, maybe.
nose. No way.
Yeah, you shoot them in the brain.
They're brainless. A
No,
zombie
they
doesn't-
have brains. That's the
Do
thing
they?
about zombies.
They eat brains.
Yeah, they eat brains and they have
And they
them.
have brains,
They have
is
them.
what we're saying.
Yep. And so the only way to stop a zombie, you could shoot it in the heart 1,000 times. You can blast off all its limbs. But if its brain is still going, like their little limbs will still crawl at you unless you shoot them directly in the head.
Or cut off the head.
Or
Because then you sever the connections to the body.
yeah, I guess you can do that. Like in Walking Dead, they do a lot of cutting off of heads. Yep, that's true.
Okay.
You got to sever that brainstem.
To the
I think
brain.
that's the key.
All right, I'm with you on it.
Yep. So they stole this idea for the clowns. They're like, well, we'll just instead of brains, we'll do
We'll just
noses.
bop their
They've got
noses.
red noses.
We'll keep it PG. Bop their noses.
Yeah, this movie's. I'm telling you, it's a PG-13 movie. It makes sense that I saw it at 4. Well, a studio picks this movie up, and a dream is born. And Steven, one of the Chiodos, it becomes the director.
Nice.
So he's going to direct
Walks
his own
right
flick.
into it. Very
Yep.
good.
And I don't know if you saw this in the opening credits. You can see the Chiodos' names all over everything.
Oh, I wasn't
It's like
watching.
executively produced by all 3 Chiodos, directed by Chiodo, photography Chiodo, props Chiodo. It's like everywhere.
Yeah.
They
It's
all
like, it's
took
a
over the
family
parts.
thing. I totally understand that.
Yeah, but what if you got in arguments? Like picture you and your sisters on like a stressful adventure like this and how much you would argue more than you would if they were just like your colleagues.
That's true. But it's not unlike when you work with someone who you're close with. Like when you and I direct shows together, like we talk to each other. I would not talk to a fellow co-director like we talk to each other.
Yeah?
And that also has issues in the back.
It's
We're
always
a little bit snappier with each other.
whenever
that's
we
all.
direct, I feel like we have to like give the people who sit in the booth with you and like run sound and lights. We have to always tell them like, hey, just so you know, it might sound like I'm yelling at my wife, but I'm really I'm at the front of the stage and she's all the way down back and behind. And so I have to go, Rach, I need light over here.
I'm like, yeah, I'll get your light. I'm doing a million other things up here.
This is just what it looks like. It's not what it seems.
We work really well together.
Yeah, I think we do too.
We got into our groove.
We did.
It took us a little bit, but we
Yep.
got into a groove of working together.
Yep.
Now I think we're pretty good.
Rach, I still can't hear that.
Yeah, I know. Little do you know that I've got like 4 8th graders in the booth asking like, hey, can I wear these earrings or
Yeah,
these
I
earrings
know.
with my costume? Like, I don't care what earrings you wear. It's like a 300 person stage. I can't see you.
Oh my gosh, so fun. Well, speaking of close relationships on set, most of the actors and the crew, they were all buddies
All
of the
in
Chiodos.
love.
No, they were all loving.
Little
They were all
showmances.
hooking up. Everybody.
Very
No,
nice.
they were all buddies though to the Chiodos, most of them, including one of our main characters, Grant Kramer, who plays Mike.
Mike.
He's one of their best friends.
Mike is one of the guys who first initially finds the alien clowns with his then girlfriend, Debbie.
Yeah.
This isn't what you think it is. Nobody stores cotton candy like this.
What are you talking about? Of course it is. Look.
when they're up at, I forget what the name is.
Top of the world.
Top of the world, which is what it sounds like.
Yep.
It's like a little makeout point.
Hey, what's our top of the world?
Where? Here?
Yeah.
In Mankato?
Or in Minneapolis or anywhere. Where do people go to make out? I mean, I know where it was in Sioux City. You go to Grandview. Grandview to make out.
Yeah, but where here? I don't know.
Yeah. Probably just a park somewhere,
We have a lot
right?
of hills, so
Yeah.
you could go
Lots of
to
hills
a
and
lot
a lot of parks. I feel
on
like-
top of hills, I
Yep.
suppose. Maybe the one of the waterfalls.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
go look at the buffalo.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ride around the buffalo. Make
Very
out.
cool.
And the Terenzi brothers.
Oh yeah.
Who are the Terenzi brothers,
The
right?
Terenzi brothers are this like crackpot group. These two boys who are kind of entrepreneurs at heart, and they have an ice cream truck that they drive around, and they're just kind of, you can tell, they're just kind of business oriented, trying to like crack into the business, but then also like really thinking about girls all the time. Constantly.
Talking
It's a
about how
little
to get
cringy at
girls.
times, so I will say that doesn't always age great.
Is
but
it cringy? I don't know. To me, they're just like, they're just dudes who are girl crazy, but they're not talking. Well, yeah, there's a couple cringy moments.
I'm Jojo, the ice cream clown with the bestest ice cream in town. We'll give you the stick, you give it a lick, and it'll tickle you all the way down. Ice cream, we brought our goodies here to you. A tasty treat for while you screw. Let's take a break. Cool off those hot lips with our tasty, frozen fruity bars, icy wicies, fudgy wudgy bars, and everyone's favorite frozen delight, the Lick-a-Stick.
But yeah, one of them is one of the guys who was in Grease. He plays one of the greasers.
Really?
The T-Birds. Yeah.
Should we look this up one time? I didn't write that down.
You don't know who that is?
No.
Okay, name the Grease guys for me.
Okay. Well, there's Danny Kanicki, Duty, Roger, and Sonny.
I think it's Duty.
Really?
I think it's Duty. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 80%.
Okay.
Okay. Well, intermission. I'll show you.
I have my doubts.
Well, he looks really familiar.
Yeah, he
looks
might
like,
look like that
looks
guy.
like Duty from Grease.
I don't know if it is, but he might look like him. Well, because the Terenzi brothers in real life, they were a comic duo from L.A. So they were like, they had a comedy duo.
That's a group? The two
yeah,
of them
those
were?
two were like a partnership.
And are they brothers?
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's a liberal use of the word brothers.
Well, they're Terenzi brothers in the movie. I don't think they call themselves the brothers. I think that's just what they're cast as. I think they're just a comic duo.
Oh, I thought their comic duo's name was the Terenzi brothers.
No.
And then they were in this, like, Penn and Teller, like, yeah, we're Penn and Teller ice cream machine. Like, they were just like a cameo in this. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I hear you. But all these characters were based on real people. So Grant Kramer, who played Mike, the character wasn't based on him, but it was based off another guy that the Chiodos and Grant Kramer knew.
Oh, okay.
They knew this guy named Mike, who his claim to fame was making out with chicks in a raft in his car.
What am I talking about the Terenzi brothers for? I would much rather be kissing you.
Rach, do you want to explain?
That's so random. So, yeah, and I did think that was kind of weird. But, yeah, so when the scene opens, we are up with Debbie and Mike, and they're in the back of Mike's car. And yeah, he has, like, a big yellow inflatable raft that they're just kind of canoodling in and drinking champagne and necking. It's very funny. It is. It's like, wow, that's, like, commitment. He's got a raft back there. So, yeah, he came to play.
Yep. Now, there was a deleted scene in this movie where they explain the raft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Debbie goes, why do you have a raft in your car? And then Mike's like, well, Terenzi brothers and I got a lot of trouble with this raft, and I keep it away from my dad. So there's a whole backstory that we miss in the final cut.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't need a backstory.
Oh, really? Because I kind of thought it was odd that
Oh,
we
really?
never, like, make mention of it.
I think it's really clever. It's like, wow, that's very unique. This guy likes to have a raft in his backseat when he makes out with chicks. I'm in.
Sure.
Sounds like a human being to me.
Well fleshed out character, I'd say.
Now, the Terenzi brothers, the real-life counterparts, really owned an ice cream truck and used it to pick up chicks. That was their whole point in life. So, also based off of real human beings.
Okay.
Great idea, Paul. Everybody loves ice cream.
What do you mean? It was your idea. Hey, why don't we just park here for a while?
Hey, what are you guys trying to pull here?
Oh, well, we thought we'd park here for a while.
You said we could have all the ice cream we wanted, but you didn't say anything about parking. What kind of girls do you think we are?
I told you they weren't that stupid.
We want you to take us home right now. Yeah.
Take it easy. Keep your shirt on.
Don't worry, we intend to.
Grant Kramer, who played Mike, he was in a lot of random stuff before this. And then after this, his big claim to fame is a very long run on The Young and the Restless.
Oh, he's pretty handsome.
Yeah?
So I could see that being.
What do you like about him? Is it that he has dark hair?
Yes.
And he's taller?
Yes.
His sweaters?
Need I say more?
You like his sweaters?
Yeah, I think he's an attractive guy.
Yeah, he is attractive.
I think they're both
Now,
attractive.
here's what I'll say about him. I get made fun of for what Rach calls, when I was a kid, going through a mullet phase. My hair looks exactly like Mike's. Would you say Mike has a mullet?
Yeah.
Oh, you would?
Yeah.
You want to just say he has like long hair?
It's not as super long though. It's kind of it's almost it's a little mullety. It's not as mullety.
Well, then how come when I was a little kid I don't get the it's just a little mullety?
Because it wasn't a little mullety. It was very mullety. It was
when I was a kid, no, was it? It wasn't super short in the top in the front.
I'm talking about how long the back is. If your back is very long,
you're saying
like
my
it
back
touches
was too
your
long.
shoulders, that's too long. That's very moldy. His, it's longer in the back, but it's still like only like 3 inches.
Hey, we need to clarify. I got rid of that haircut when I was 4, right around the time I copied this movie over. When by the time I got my kindergarten photos, that mullet's gone.
Okay. Hey, it's okay.
No, I feel judgment coming from the microphone from our audience.
Nobody was gonna bring up the mullet, babe.
Yeah? Well, how did it get brought up? Did I bring it up?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Well, it's good to know you think Mike's attractive.
Yeah.
I always, I was a big fan of Mike, so I always kind of hoped that was going to be my future. I was going to find a Debbie and be a Mike.
Debbie's got a bit of a mullet. Like, it's super short, a round cut.
Debbie's hair is super perm.
Yes, and it's permed.
You should see her, like, now. She has, like, the straightest hair ever.
Does she?
Yeah.
Is it still kind of that coppery red hair, or is she a different...
Blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah, very blonde.
Mm-hmm.
But she is attractive.
Oh, she's an 80s babe all the way.
She is an 80s
Even now
babe.
she'd be attractive, but then
No, that's what I'm saying. She's attractive now still.
I would have permed my hair to look like that in the day, had that been an option for me.
What is she wearing? She has this weird... Can you explain the dress that she wears in this movie?
The beginning?
Yeah,
it's essentially cloth overalls with a lot of room.
Over like a white long sleeve shirt that's kind of like rolled up?
Yeah. Yep, layered over a long kind of like a Henley tee here.
But the overalls aren't like what you think of when you think of cute overalls nowadays.
They're not jeans.
They're like thin. They're like really thin overalls.
Yep, cloth overalls and yeah. Is it a dress? I can't remember what the bottom looks like.
Yeah. No.
Or they look like parachute pants.
They're parachute pants.
Yeah.
They're parachute pants.
Yeah.
And
it's unfortunate. I'm really glad that she has to change partway through
this.
Well,
I think, is it an overall dress with parachute pants on underneath?
Oh, boy, you know what?
I think it is.
That might be it.
I think it's white pants underneath.
We better do a rewatch.
I think it's like a,
What is she wearing?
What is she wearing?
What in God's name is she wearing?
Well, Debbie was probably the most successful person in this movie before and after. I don't have written that she was a buddy of theirs, so I think they actually brought her in as an actress. Before this movie, she was in Return of the Living Dead 2, so she had already been a scream queen a little bit. But then she also was in the movie Weird Science. Have you ever seen Weird Science?
I have not.
Okay. It's John Hughes.
She's not the main chick in Weird.
No.
Because that's a British,
the main
older
chick,
British
yep.
chick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is she like
I think she might be the love
girl
interest.
next door? Yeah. Is that kind of what I could see her
or
be that?
a friend of the love interest. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. That's a weird movie. It's kind of fun, but it's weird.
You sure? Does it age okay, do you think?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Last time I saw it was when we did Back to the 80s in like 2009, so it's been a hot sec.
Even then, one would need a rewatch just to get it up to
Yeah,
snuff now.
that's true. A lot even changed from the 3 years after 2009. I don't feel comfortable with how things were until about 2012-ish. She was also in, though, after this, the movie Fools Rush In, which you've never seen.
I've not seen.
But it has Chandler and it has Selma Hayek in it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
Yep.
that's who's in that.
They're going to have a baby.
And Debbie comes along.
So, yeah, I can't remember who she is in that movie. If she's like his sister or what she is. But I saw a video, a really cringy video. Let me go on a little bit of a soapbox right now.
Uh-oh.
So, obviously, Debbie was one of my first crushes. I mean, I think when you're 4 years old and you like have contact with a girl who's really cute, it would have been like Debbie, the Little Mermaid, the chick off Goonies. Like, there's like only a few people that I can really say like those were like the first people I thought were really attractive as a little kid.
Sure.
There was a video where this fanboy is like, yeah, thanks for getting me through my adolescence. I can't tell you how many nights we spent together and all these things like that.
Oh.
It was so cringy, Rach. If you're a fanboy out there, you need to tone it down.
Yeah.
And she was like, haha, thanks. Glad I could help. You know, like, what else are you going to say about that? She's like signing autographs at the time.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
Like, don't say weird stuff. Just be like, oh, I've loved your work since I was a little kid or since I was a teenager. You're so awesome. Thank you for being so cool. Just be normal. Just tell them about how cool they are. You don't have to get weird.
Yeah. We talked about this with like, I don't want to say nerd culture, but like that culture and how like sometimes it just the piece about women, we miss a beat there.
Yeah.
You know. We miss some social skills about how to talk to women and how to even like how do we portray women in film and in movies in that area.
Well, it's interesting you brought that up, how we portray women, because one thing this film tried to do is it tried to switch the gender roles of Mike and Debbie. And it tried to make Mike kind of the like naive dumb one and Debbie the smart cautious one.
Yeah, was that a first to do that? Because I feel like a lot of
I mean,
times
other
girls
ones
in the
might have
movies
too.
are like, hey, maybe we shouldn't.
I think that was a thing. I think that was a thing later.
Sure, because
But
that was like a trope.
Yeah,
bit, right?
But if you've seen enough 80s slashers, you would know the girls are dumb.
Yeah,
that is a thing.
Some are, but the main girl who lives is
Main
usually
girl
not.
is usually
she's
smart.
usually
Yep.
cautious. She's usually like, I don't know, this is a little scary. And the boyfriend's like, hey, come on, let's do it. And it's like, I don't know. And it's all cringy.
Yeah,
but
and I think it depends on if it's a duo, if you have a final two, or if you have a final one. Mm-hmm. Because like even the Friday the 13th, I'm thinking of Friday the 13th 4. The guy who plays Tommy, he's like more like something weird's going on here. We gotta figure this out, or we gotta be careful. And then the girl's always like, nothing's going on, and you don't have to worry about anything. You know, like so.
She sounds like she's gonna die.
Well, she doesn't, but it got close, you know, because she was being dumb. So it depends on where we are in the timeline. So I think at this time it was somewhat revolutionary for them to flip those gender roles.
Well, and I should say, Debbie portrayed in this is not. I think she's great.
This looks like a cotton candy factory to me. Yeah. This must be where they hang it up to dry before they ship the stuff out.
No, it's not. I've never seen anything like this before. Have you?
No?
Well, that's because nobody has. I don't believe in UFOs. But if they do exist, then we're trapped in one right now.
I mean, will you just calm down? There's got to be a logical explanation for this.
This isn't what you think it is. Nobody stores cotton candy like this.
What are you talking about? Of course it is. Look.
I don't have any issues with that. I'll get off my soapbox on nerd culture. I'm just saying like fandom and stuff like that going up to women in these movies or in superhero things and just kind of like being awkward and
You're standing in front of a table where Josh Hartnett is signing autographs and it's time for you to make small talk with him. What do you say? Go.
I get to make small talk with him.
He goes, hey, how are you?
So great.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I also live in Minnesota. I think Minnesota's great.
Oh, yeah. I like Minnesota. I'm here probably like half the year. Otherwise, I'm in L.A.
I would too if I could afford it. Not LA, but like just like
Why'd
go
you-
somewhere warm.
Why don't you run away with me then? Is this your chump husband right here?
Something like that. Yeah. He's
Hi,
cool.
Josh.
He's cool. He's whatever. Don't worry about him. No, I'm probably over him now. If I saw him in real life, he'd have like weird greasy long hair and like
Or
a weird
have a weird
beard
facial hair or
and,
something, yeah.
It would be like,
Yep.
oh, well, it was fun while we knew each other.
We shared a lot of great moments.
You were on many of my bedroom walls.
Yeah, you'd say we spent a lot of nights together. Thanks for
would not
giving me my teenage years, Joshua.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so let's talk about Alan Nelson. He was Dave.
Dave.
If you're gonna book him, then do it, Mooney.
I know you got this problem with my training, and I don't care. If you're going to book him, book him. It's not quite the quote, but I think he should repeat it.
Yeah, he
If
should.
you're going to book him, book him.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, he goes,
That's a
you're gonna
bit-
book him, do it by procedure.
Yeah,
Otherwise-
something like that, yeah.
Unless you want to rewrite the laws, Mr. Police Academy.
Oh, look, you got this problem with my training. I don't care. But when you bring someone into the station, I don't want to see you beating them up. Now, if you're gonna book them, do it according to procedure. Or I swear, Kurt, you and that badge of yours will be history.
But anyways, he was like a TV master. He is in so
yeah?
much TV. Yeah, including after this. He's in a lot of big TV shows.
He's very
in
handsome.
multiple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He's on 24. He's on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. He's on Baywatch.
Oh, like now? Like those are like recent shows.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't that
that's
long ago.
awesome.
He was a recurring role for multiple seasons on those 3 shows.
That's
and then he did
great.
like lots of little like 1-2 episode spots on tons of shows. He's a freaking TV master.
What the dream, right?
Yeah,
to have
for
something like this as iconic as this under your belt, and then to like just like bop around, but not to be so recognizable that you can't still have a normal life.
I'm telling you,
Like,
babe, it's the dream.
it would be the
If
dream.
I could lay my head down and be like, Killer Klowns, it's the best movie ever. And now I do just tons of TV. Like I do a lot of episodes and things. Like it's awesome. I love my life. As long as I don't have to live in Los Angeles, I love it. John Vernon, he plays Sheriff Mooney.
I don't know who you are, but before this night's over, you're going to be begging for mercy.
He did a ton of stuff from the 60s through the 2000s. The biggest things that he did, he was in Dirty Harry.
Okay.
I've seen Dirty Harry and I don't remember him in it. I do remember him in this next movie though, because he plays the bad guy, because he's a classic villain in Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well,
And then
I've never seen it, but interesting.
he's also in Animal House. I don't remember
Okay.
him in that though. It's been a while since I saw Animal
Yeah,
House.
for those who are thinking, he kind of looks a little bit like a Gene Hackman, sort of.
Yeah, that's a really good comp.
But
Yep.
he plays the older, kind of hard-nosed cop.
Yep.
Who's like, oh, these stupid kids coming down and messing up my town.
Yep.
And like, he's like the first one to be like, nope, these kids are playing a prank on us. There's no such thing as clowns. You can't believe them. Whoop-de-goddamn-to-do.
The goddamn to do.
Whoop the goddamn to do. What do we have here?
He's
Better
got,
save the world for the clowns, Dave.
he is so good in this.
He is.
Like,
He is.
he's kind of on like another level. Like his and Dave's scenes are so intense.
Yep.
And I love it because I believe every word of it.
I do too. I actually think he's a tremendous actor.
so.
I don't know who you are, but by the end of the night, I'm going to have you begging for mercy. He's so good. I'm like, this is legitimate acting.
Yeah, it kind of takes you out of it for a minute. You're like, oh, whoa. Like, yeah, he has kind of some of the more serious scenes,
Yep.
and you're like, oh, this isn't camp
But then he's
anymore.
funny too. Like
Oh,
he does
yeah.
this goofy little. He does this weird little laugh he does sometimes when he's making fun of Dave. It's so fun.
Yeah, and the Academy Award goes to Officer Mooney.
Best supporting actor for sure. He's great.
So great.
He's great. And then another guy I wanted to bring up is Royal Dano. He's the old farmer at the beginning of the movie.
Well, I'll be greased and fried. What in blue blazes is the circus doing up in these parts? Yeah, I love the circus. Come on, maybe we can get us some free passes.
You want to talk about this old farmer for us, Rach?
Yeah, so I actually misspoke. Mike and Debbie are not the first on the scene when this flying saucer circus tent spaceship lands. It's actually a farmer and his hound dog are first on the scene. And
his Pooh Bear.
Yep. Yep. And we don't know what part of the country he's from because it's very different from everyone else.
Yeah, for sure.
He's very backwoodsy.
I think it's the film is filmed in California, but it's kind of they do a lot of shots in like Northern California.
Sure.
And I think it's supposed to maybe take place somewhere else, though, but I don't know. Anyways, you're right. He's in a totally different world.
He's from, like, Georgia.
Yep.
He's like, what tarnation? Tarnation.
I've never seen this in before.
I never seen one that looked like this one before.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only from the South, but from the South, like, maybe 50, 60 years ago.
Yep.
So, like, also
sure.
time traveled a little bit.
Yep. Haley Comet landed in our backyard. Now, anyways, Royal Dano, he was in a ton of movies in the past, like especially Westerns. He plays this character. I've seen this exact same character in Space Invaders, which I watched last summer during the pandemic. Horrible.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible movie. Don't watch it.
Watch this instead.
It's awful. It's awful. But he's the same exact character. He's like this weird little farmer guy, hick character in
First
the town.
on the scene again?
Yeah, he is. He notices the aliens. He's like, there's aliens about.
That's so great. He was so good that they were like, him. We need him.
We need him.
It's perfect. Change nothing. This is actually all in canon.
Yeah. Hey, Royal, I need you to come over here. You're delivering lines a little too Shakespearean for me right now. I need you just to be you. Pooh Bear.
Where's my dog? Where's my Pooh Bear? I'll tear this thing apart with my bare hands.
The Trinzi Bros, we already talked about them being a comic duo, and they made their way into this movie as well. Now, the Chiodos, they told their actors to play everything completely straight. They said, don't add any comedy. They're like, the script and the circumstances will infuse the film with comedy. We want their whole goal, and tell me if you agree with this, their goal is we want people to laugh, but we also want them to be a little nervous, like a little on edge, a little nervous, because they're kind of scared, but not really scared. Would you like to say that?
I think so, especially the first time I watched this, like not knowing what this was going to be about. And, you know, clowns historically are pretty scary when they're put into films like this. And so, you know, you're a little on edge, like how creepy are these clowns going to be? And honestly, at times they do get kind of creepy.
Yes.
Like I would jump if one came behind you right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I would be like, ooh.
Well, talking about creature effects, you can tell the Chiodos are super good at what they do because these clown costumes are dynamite.
They're so great. Practical effects all the way, guys. It's no CGI. It's so great.
It's incredible. And like they have like facial twitches and like distinctions that aren't the same. The little one, his little ears move. Like they have so many little fun things and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of
for small budget 80s?
Yeah, and that's the piece too, because it's kind of like you're walking into like a Star Wars set, like at the bar or whatever, where you have all these creatures. But yeah, it's definitely a low budget. But I don't think it looks low budget, at least not really.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I don't think so either. I think they do a really good job of stretching their budget and making it look pretty freaking cool. Absolutely. So, anyways, they wanted all their actors to play it straight. Did you think they accomplished that part?
I did. I thought everybody believed exactly what was going on. And I didn't see a lot of people veering off and like trying to be funny. Because you're right, that would have taken me out of it. It's like, you don't need to be funny. Like some of this part is just so funny just in and of itself. Like you don't need to add to that. I mean, a couple of people were clowny, but I'd say I have like the main group I thought was actually pretty solid.
I think so too.
I think crazy.
Acting wise, this movie is not bad. Now, we can make fun of some of the things that Debbie says.
Some of the line deliveries are very funny.
Do you have anything that you wanted to point out right now before we get into quotes?
What I'll say is Debbie, like, she's not quite the scream.
Just we laugh a couple times.
She's not quite the scream queen that like Jennifer Love Hewitt is, right?
Sure,
like
yes.
she does not scream from her soul.
Yep.
And that's a bit of a problem for me. A little bit.
Yeah.
With Deb. But Yeah, I don't know. She's got just like the line deliveries are so funny sometimes, but I do think that they're doing their best and they're giving it their all. I do.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. So I want to talk a little bit about some of their tricks that they did to pull this off, because you mentioned all the practical effects, and they did so many practical effects. There's barely any like sort of enhancement that's done in post. So a couple things that happened that went wrong though. They had those little balloon animals that they make. So there's a moment in the movie. Do you want to explain it?
Go ahead. Tell me which one you're
There's a moment in the movie where Mike and Debbie realize they're in a UFO.
Oh, can I give the line that
Yes,
Debbie has?
can you?
I don't believe in UFOs, but I think we're in one.
But if they do exist,
there it
we're trapped inside one right now.
That's it.
So there's a moment where they are running out. They get popcorn shot all over them, and they're running away. And these two clowns come out. And they make a little balloon animal into like a little puppy, and he's got like a little leash that's tied to one of the clown's fingers, and it like comes alive.
Yeah.
The puppy, the
it chases them.
balloon
like,
dog does. Yeah. It's kind of cute. It's kind of
adorable.
cute. It makes me a little sad when they accidentally run it over.
Spoiler.
Yeah. So they've got this little balloon animal. Well, one of the problems were they kept having these balloon animals pop.
Sure.
Because you're going through the woods, and it hit pine cones and needles and things like that. And so they kept popping over and over and over again. They couldn't even get shots done. They're like getting super frustrated. So one of the things they had to do was they covered the balloons in latex.
Okay.
And so it helped protect it against some of the other stuff so it didn't keep popping. Well, they had some other things like that happen too. So for the racing clown car, which kind of inspired the whole thing when you think about it.
Yeah, at one point, I don't remember. It's just a random guy too, right?
We're going to get into him.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
When the clowns are wreaking havoc on the town, they're kind of going around and doing all of their own like little clown tricks. One clown pulls up right beside a guy while he's driving up in the hills, and of course the clown is like driving on nothing. He's just in air, and take it away with some fun facts about that.
Yeah, so here's what they did. They built this little sidecar thing that wasn't visible to the camera. And so the stunt driver in the clown suit is sitting in this little sidecar.
Okay.
And the sidecar is able, based on how the clown wants it to move, he can make it go forward, backward, and left and right. So he can look like he's pounding into that car while that car's driving.
Oh,
and they're getting those shots based on how he maneuvers this little contraption that was built right next to it. Yeah.
That's really cool. And what
Now-
a cool practical effect.
That was supposed to be the opening scene of the movie.
Oh.
Here's what the opening scene was supposed to be.
Yeah.
That guy who was in the car, he's with his girlfriend. He's trying to get a little frisky.
Sure.
She's not interested. She shuts him down. He kicks her out of the car.
Oh,
He's
God.
a big jerk.
Yeah.
He's like, get out of the car then. You're out of here.
Gross.
And he drives off. And then while he's driving off, he's all huffy and puffy. Then that clown pulls up next to him, and they start that interaction. And that guy's name was Joe Lombardo.
Joe Lombardo.
Oh, he's the first dead guy that they
fought.
report that they see in the clown ship.
Mike and Debbie are hiding in the clown ship. The cotton candy cocoons are everywhere. They see one person's face, Joe Lombardo. That's that guy. But they ended up flipping the order of the movie, and so it didn't really make sense.
Sure.
But it doesn't really matter.
Would have never have
It's like,
known
who
that
cares?
was his face. But
Yep.
yeah. Interesting.
Another thing with that moment is the car, like eventually the clown forces the car to go off a cliff.
Yeah. Yep.
That stunt went horribly wrong. There was nobody involved in it,
Yep.
but the person who set up the stunt, it was a one take.
Uh-huh.
The car was supposed to fly off that ledge,
Yep.
and it was supposed to explode when it
Sure.
hits the ground.
Yep.
What ends up happening is it like gently rolls down the hill. It doesn't even make it to the bottom. It kind of gets stuck 2/3 of the way through and flips over. And then they were like, oh, and the explosion wasn't going to work then, or everything was like just kaput. And so they're like, okay, just start a little fire like on the car, like they did safely, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, just have a little fire going on the car to show like it's burning. That's what they ended up doing. And I watched it back. I was like, yep, you could totally see like, uh-oh, that's not good.
That's great. Again, the power of yes and like,
Yep.
okay, well, we're going to make it work. We're going to
Yep,
make it work.
we got this.
Keep
We
that.
got
We're
this.
good. Roll a tape. Yeah, it is kind of sad. It's like,
So another effect that they did was the infamous pie scene, Rach.
okay.
You want to tell us about the pie scene?
Yeah, so our clowns now, they've wreaked a lot of havoc on the town, and they have decided that they are going to go to the fair
Yep.
that is set up
Yep, the
kind
amusement
of
park.
just outside of town. And there is a patrol guard, a security guy on duty that night, and all the clowns pull up. I think in a clown car, probably.
Yep,
right?
it is in a clown car. Yep.
That's fitting. And they all get out, and he's got the infamous line, Ty, which is,
What you gonna do with those pies, boys?
What are you going to do with those pies, boys?
yeah. So all the clowns are holding pies, and then they throw them at him.
Yep.
And we find out in about like 2 seconds later that these pies melted him.
They melted
him. They were, acid pies.
Down to bone.
Yeah.
But they did not destroy his flashlight.
No.
Did you notice that? The skeleton is holding the flashlight
I think
still.
his glasses and his flashlight were still there.
All right, so let's talk about this infamous pie scene.
Sure.
Generally, clowns do a lot of stuff with pies.
Yep.
When you get a pie to the face, it's just a tin filled with whipped cream.
Yep.
That's all it is because it doesn't hurt
Yeah.
when it happens. The whipped cream kind of like softens the blow and the tin is able to mold to your face. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, well, I've got a story about that.
Oh, go ahead. Do you want to tell it?
Well, it doesn't normally hurt unless you're like us a couple of years ago at the middle school when we were having a pet fest.
Yeah.
And one of the things that the kids got to do was throw pies in teachers' faces if they
Oh.
got their names drawn. But we let the kids get too close.
Oh, no.
And they took it and they put it in their face and then
So they smacked him in the face
and
with
right in their nose.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
one of the teachers that like her eyes just like watered so bad.
It's like it's the killer clown nose weakness.
Again, should have had them throw it from far away, but none of them were making it, and so we're like, okay, just go up and put it on there. But I think they just didn't want to do it slow, so they wanted to have like the wind up, show mom, and put it. But then it was like
So they got smacked in the face.
they got smacked in the face with a pie. Yeah, it was bad.
Well, that's it also hurts if you do an actual pie.
Oh yeah.
The real pie to the face hurts because that crust,
Oh sure.
it hurts when it makes contact.
Yeah, that would
So-
not feel good.
What they had to do, because they didn't want just whipped cream on this guy.
Yeah.
They wanted the filling. That was a big thing. Like, we want to see the filling and the crust, and we want to see the whole pie makeup slathered down his body, and we wanted just tons of pies. But it hurts. They tried it in the tins, and the guy was like, it hurts way too much. I can't do this.
Yeah.
So like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We have to come up with a contraption. So they built this thing so the pie tin doesn't leave, just the pie leaves the little trays.
Okay.
And so you put on this glove, and then you just like push it off like you're going to like throw it at somebody. The pie tin stays on, and the crust in the pie just flies through the air and onto the guy. And that doesn't hurt at all. He loved it. And everybody on the crew got super into it, including Grant Kramer, who plays Mike Tobacco. He's like, I want to do it too. So he was doing it too.
The ingenuity on this set is just like otherworldly.
These Chiodo Bros are the coolest. They are awesome.
It's real fun.
Now, we have to talk about the amazing theme song. And Rach, I've actually printed off the lyrics to the Dickies theme song of Killer Klowns for you to sing. And I'll do like some of the instrumentals in between and everything.
What's funny is I saw these printed out on our countertop earlier today.
Yep.
And they're like, he better not ask me to sing this. Because here's the thing, like I can sing like the musicality of it, but I tried to like do it like with these words. I don't know how the words fit in.
Do you
want
to sing it together?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
You've practiced a little bit. I can help you with it.
Yeah, no, I know how
I'm
it
not
goes.
embarrassed to sing in front of people, obviously.
Yes, no, we know
but
that.
I just
We know
don't
that.
know how the words line up with it.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Take your lead.
Yep.
Go for it.
P.T. Bonham said it so long ago. There's one born every minute that you know. Killer clowns. Some make us laugh, some make us cry. These clowns only gonna make you die. Everybody's running when the circus comes into their towns. Everybody's running from the likes of the Killer Klowns.
From outer space.
Nice, there you go. And Killer Klowns from outer space. There it is.
Killer Klowns. La, da, da. That's the only part I know.
So the Dickies came up with this amazing, amazing theme song. They wrote that before they even saw the movie. They were told
They just said Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
the
That's
Chiodos
title.
told them the title and the concept, and they were like, "We got it.
Say no more.
Say no more."
It's written itself.
I know exactly what to do. Oh shoot! What about the rest of the music in this movie, Rach?
I think it's pretty fun. I think it sets the tone.
I think the music's incredible. Get this, guys. 88, cheap movie, B movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a full orchestration.
Yeah.
They have a full orchestra that plays, and then they cover it up with some synthesizer-y stuff.
Sure.
But they have a full orchestra at times in this movie. In Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the same thing Gladiator does. Just put that in your head.
Well, I mean.
Now, I want you to do something for me. I want you to go and just listen to a little bit of the Killer Klowns from Outer Space soundtrack on Spotify and tell me that some of this music is not legitimately good. It has no business being as good as it is. It's legitimately
Wait,
good.
I'm confused. You want people to tell you that it's not good?
No, I want people to tell me it doesn't deserve to be this good. It's really, really good. So check it out. Some of them are weird, but some of them are really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite moment musically? Like, there's let me list off some things for you.
Me.
So there's the whole like beginning going into the tent, like where it's kind of like mysterious.
Ooh, mm-hmm.
There is the moment where they're gonna march, where it goes dun 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 dun.
Oh,
dun, dun,
that's the one.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun.
that's the one. They're walking
There's
to
the
town.
march.
It's like 5 miles away. Here's the town. You see like these 8 clowns with their giant shoes just walking down the road.
Yep, for sure.
Yep. I mean, you can keep going. That for me is probably the best.
Yeah, I also like the one where it sounds like a march. It's like a military march. It's when they're going through the town towards like 2/3 of the way through the movie, and they've got like a parade going on.
Yeah.
The clowns are, and they're sucking people up on this big vacuum machine, and they're cotton candy cocoons, and the cotton candy cocoons. Cotton candy cocoons.
Second, guys, are you sure about this?
Yes, they were hanging there, wrapped up in these cotton candy things, these cocoons.
Cocoons.
Yes, cocoons. You know, cocoon.
And there's a song that plays there that's kind of cool. It's like dun, 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 do, 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 do.
That's actually pretty good time.
Yeah,
you
thank
have
you,
seen
babe.
this movie many times.
I
would
listened to
say.
the soundtrack on my bike ride right before we did this, and I literally could picture the entire movie as the songs were playing.
Incredible.
I think this and Aladdin might be the 2 movies I've seen the most in my life.
I can't think of anything else you would have seen more.
Because I watch each one of those movies at least once a year, and I don't think I could say that about any other movie.
Plus some. Even now as an adult, you still probably sneak in an additional Killer Klowns viewing twice a year, probably.
Yeah, maybe
once
get it
for
twice.
sure, but maybe twice.
Now imagine a life when I used to watch this almost like every 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks. My buddy Jeff and we would always sneak down.
How old were you?
Like all throughout grade school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We still
like
watch it?
2nd through 4th grade, probably once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
so good. We always said that he was Dave and I was Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then whatever girl we both had a similar crush on was probably Debbie, which that did happen.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Jeff has a crush on you. Okay, so
No, that's not on me.
Stephen Chiodo's favorite death is the puppet section.
Oh,
Do you want to talk about the puppet?
the puppet section.
Or like I like to call the morality play.
So, lay the scene. We're at a little gazebo. The clowns have arrived, people, and they're laying traps. So we've got this cute little puppet show going on, and this really odd-looking guy. Like he's just. I don't mean this meanly, but he's ugly as
He's
sin.
an ugly guy.
He's an ugly guy.
He's ugly as
He's
sin.
ugly as sin.
I'm sorry for covering
And, as one does, he's just out by himself around this gazebo, and he's watching this play. And the play is kind of, again, these boy and girl puppet. The boy keeps trying to like catch the girl puppet, and she's like, no, no, no.
Yep, she does
And
not
he's-
want his advances.
Yeah, she says no, and he's not listening. And of course, this random loner is like, this is so funny. And then she takes out this like laser gun, and she shoots the boy puppet, and the boy puppet disappears. And
Yep.
he's like, whoa, that's so cool.
Yep.
And then slowly the puppet turns the laser
And now
gun
she's got a mean look on her
to
face.
the guy.
The puppet
And he's
does.
like, whoa, whoa, what? And I think at that point, either she shoots it or the clown who's doing it stands
The
up.
clown stands up.
I think he stands up,
and the
then
play
he
falls apart.
Yep, and then he shoots him with the laser.
Yep.
I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's that scene. That's a great death. I love that
That is
one.
a good death.
That's a very good
So
one.
that's his favorite death.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite death?
That's up there.
Yep.
That might be number one. I also really love the clown who does all of the shadow puppets with his
Yep.
hand against the side of the building. Ty's performing the musical background for you. And I'll explain what's happening. So the first character, this is probably the elephant is coming. It's very exciting, very sweet. Ooh. Now we're like a sexy lady. Oh, the audience is so amused. We think this is so cool. Now, oh no, it's kind of changing, and now it's a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I can't
and
even do this.
the shadow puppet leans down, and it eats the crowd of people.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It eats them.
It eats them. And people across the street are like, oh my God.
Yep.
Run.
It's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, that's probably a really fun death.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other ones that I'm missing that are
So
really good?
here's the two that I have marked that I really enjoy. One is low key, and one is not. One is very blatant.
Okay.
I'll do the low key one first.
Mm-hmm.
I love. It's such a short moment. We already kind of mentioned it. I love ding dong pizza. Oh, pizza.
Pizza.
Oh, pizza.
This is the girl in the negligee that Ty claims that you can't see through it, but if you look, you can see through it.
Well, okay, so imagine there's a bunch of clowns at the door, and there's three of them. They're holding a stack of pizza. And she goes, pizza. And she's got her wine glass in her hand. She's like, just being a dick about, like, she doesn't want pizza. Like, imagine somebody came to your door and had 8 pizzas. It was like, hey, I brought this pizza for you. You'd be like, I'm not really hungry for it, but that sounds awesome.
I mean,
Thank
she's
you.
in her underwear. What's she gonna say?
Yeah, pizza.
Oh, pizza.
And then the littlest clown, his name is Shorty, by the way,
Oh.
pops out of the boxes and he's like, ah, and then shoots her with his little cotton candy
Shoot her
gun.
with a cotton candy gun. Gets her ass.
Awesome moment. I love that moment. And then my other one that I love is Big Bad JoJo coming into town.
Big bad JoJo coming into town.
When little Shorty, once again, both of mine are Shorty ones.
Yep.
He comes rolling in on his motorcycle, but it's a little tiny trike bike.
Yeah, probably tricycle
Yep.
is what it is.
Yep.
Cute
and
little horn and
and
everything
these
on it.
badass motorcycle gang are there, and what do? Rach?
Well, they start to kind of like bully him a little bit, like,
Yep.
oh, who are you? Oh, it's so cute. Can I beep the horn? And little Shorty goes, and then I don't remember what
he
happens.
crushes the bike.
That's right. They're so mean to him, and he cries.
Yeah, he
The little clown
cries. His little ears
cries.
are going. He's crying.
Yeah, yep. And then somehow it becomes a fisticuffs.
Yep.
And Shorty puts on these gloves and he's kind of bouncing
And he goes,
around.
"Bakaboo, bakaboo." Don't know what that means, but I think he's pissed. He's gonna fight you.
And I think the guy said something about like, "You're gonna knock my block off."
Yep, you got it. Nailed
And then he
What you gonna do?
bops him in the chin, and there his head rolls.
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
Knock my block off.
So there's moments like that where it's like really silly, and you're like, "Oh my God, there's a severed head."
Yeah, very sure. And which looks pretty good.
I thought so,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. So I love that death too.
That's a good
Knock
one.
my block off.
Knock my block off.
So Clownzilla That's the final clown.
Yeah.
His name is Clownzilla.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually Charles Kyoto, one of the Kyoto brothers, in a giant clown costume. Not really giant. It's just a normal clown costume. But they filmed it in a way where they were able to capture Dave being small and things like that. It was all about perspective. It was all about how they filmed it, which is I think is so cool. Once again, another practical effect.
Yep.
They were going to do stop motion, but they ended up going with this more practical way because it was cheaper and took a lot less time. Which I love. Stop motion can look a little cheesy sometimes, so yeah, I can.
It's hard to make it look smooth if you're gonna put that side by side with real life.
Yeah,
I think.
Yep, I agree. So yeah, and I think that's one of the things to be really lauded about this movie is just how much practical effects that they did, and that's why I think the movie ages.
Really, in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's from a bygone era because so much practical that they did.
It looks from a bygone era because of the dress.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Of the clothes
For sure.
and just the music and the style. However, it doesn't take away from the movie. You don't think this. It looks cheese, but it's also a part of the magic of it.
Yep.
I would say it doesn't look cheesy because it looks bad. It looks cheesy because it's a campy horror film.
Yep.
That's why it looks the way it does.
Yeah.
It's intentional.
Yep. Yeah.
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 Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
Speaking of practical effects, we got to talk about that popcorn gun.
Yeah.
Now, surprisingly, this was one of the hardest props of the entire shoot.
Really?
So, what happens with the popcorn gun, Rach?
I think it's a giant gun and it looks like it has popcorn popping in the inside of it.
Yep.
So you can kind of see through a clear dome if there's random popcorn popping, right?
Sure.
Anything else?
And then you push the trigger and what happens?
A laser comes out?
No, popcorn flies out.
Oh.
Yeah, a crazy amount of popcorn flies out.
Oh.
So the popcorn gun cost $7,000 to make and took
What?
6 weeks.
What?
Because they wanted it to shoot actual popcorn.
Sure.
Now, granted, when it gets on Debbie and Mike and they're flying out of the entrance and they get propelled by the popcorn, that doesn't need to be the popcorn gun. But when he first shoots that popcorn gun, they wanted it actually to explode in popcorn. So they spent a lot of money and time on it.
Okay. I think that ingenuity went a little awry. Everything else sounded really brilliant. I think
because they never use it again.
They hit a brick wall with that a little bit. We probably should just figure out something
Troy,
else in this
how is that
fun.
popcorn gun coming? Dudes, I'm going to need at least 4 more weeks.
And $3,000 more.
We got to double our budget.
What? That's a popcorn gun?
I can't get this thing to fire freaking popcorn. Oh, my gosh. Another thing that went awry was the Jeep that has all the cotton candy in it. So there's a moment where they go back to Top of the World, and he goes to this Jeep, and it's got cotton candy everywhere, and he sees glasses in the Jeep, right?
Yeah.
That cotton candy, what they did was they were told by a special effects person, they're like, okay, if you're going to put this cotton candy all over the interior of this car, which they had borrowed from a dealer, you need to put Pam all over everything.
Oh, God.
All over the windows, all over the seats, all over the dash. Everything needs Pam on it, and it will just wipe right off.
Pam?
Yeah. Yep.
That's grease.
I know, but it did not work either. The cotton candy did not wipe off. It was impossible to get out. They didn't know what to do, so they ended up having to take it to a different dealer and get the entire interior redone.
Oh, my
And it
gosh.
cost them $3,000. They had to redo all the interior. And then they took it back to the old dealer. So it was a total fail.
Well, I will say, at least that's 2 popcorn guns worth. That's not that bad.
Yeah, I know.
In that
If
scheme
I
of
told
things.
you could redo all of your car twice and then a little bit more for the
Or-
cost of that popcorn gun, that is pretty
I
wild.
think I'll still pick the popcorn gun. Though.
Yeah, it was cool. All right, so there's a moment in the movie where everybody's been getting turned into cotton candy cocoons. And there is... I think it's at the end of the movie. They're in that same place again. It's after the crazy straw. If you want to explain the crazy straw, go for it.
Oh, so people are getting turned into cotton candy because we find out that the cotton candy essentially eats away the person inside, and they turn into mush so that the clown aliens can drink them. And so they put crazy straws into the cotton candy and they drink them.
Yep. So
it's exactly what it sounds like.
Yep. You nailed it.
It's really gross.
So in that scene, there is a small cotton candy.
Oh,
Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so there's all these big ones, and then there's one little one.
Oh.
And I used to always think they got a kid.
Yeah.
And so I would always go to a dark
Like a
place. I was like,
baby.
oh, they got a little kid, like a little 5-year-old or
Yeah,
something.
because there's
got
no
turned into
coming
cotton
back.
candy.
If you get caught with cotton candy, you're dead.
You're done.
If you get caught in a balloon, like Debbie fortunately was, you're just in a balloon waiting for someone to rescue you.
Yes.
Thankfully.
Okay, and we'll get into the balloon right after this.
Oh, okay.
This is a good segue.
Okay.
So in that scene with that little cotton candy, I used to always think that was a little kid. I found out, confirmed, it's not a little kid.
What is it?
What other little thing gets taken away?
A dog?
It's a puppy.
Oh.
Pooh Bear. That's
Oh.
Pooh. That's little Pooh Bear in that cotton candy cocoon.
Almost worse.
I know. I think so too.
It's definitely not
Some
better.
nameless 5-year-old. That's fine. I like to think Pooh Bear got out.
No, my Pooh Bear.
I'll tear this place apart with my bare hands.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. So little Pooh Bear.
Ah,
Which,
way to
by
bring
the
us
way,
down.
when you copy something over from VHS, the quality
back to that.
the quality takes a dip.
Sure.
And it's kind of hard to see certain parts, and there's little lines that go across your screen and stuff. It gets fuzzy at moments.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do it.
So that was a scene where it got really fuzzy
Uh-huh.
in my old VHS. And so I couldn't really make out what was always going on in that Pooh Bear scene.
Mm-hmm.
And his handkerchief is on the ground.
Uh-huh.
But when I was a kid, because I couldn't tell what was going on, I thought it was his heart.
Oh.
And then I thought the farmer picks up his heart and is holding it in his hands and is like, I'll tear this place apart with my bare hands. I was like, he's holding Pooh Bear's heart.
Oh my God. And you thought that's at age 4?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Crazy,
I
huh?
bet that messed you up. big
Oh,
time.
I'm still messed up by
yeah.
it.
Yep.
I see a handkerchief, I always think it's somebody's heart. So why do you think they take certain people in balloons and other people get in cotton candy cocoons?
Well,
There's two theories.
in Debbie's case, we need a way for Debbie to get captured, and we need a way for Debbie to escape without turning into a pile of mush.
Yeah, so you're saying it's a
So,
plot device.
I think a plot device
Yeah.
is an idea.
Okay.
Now, if I'm going to wheel it in there a little bit more, it's probably because freshness, right? I mean, we can only drink so many cotton candy cocoons worth of human over time, and we need some to go. We need to take some to go on the road into space when we leave. Yeah, so a freshness quality would be the other piece.
Like it
but-
keeps them fresh.
Yeah, yeah,
So then they can drink their blood later on down the road.
yeah.
They can let them
Then
out
it
of the
doesn't
balloon,
go bad.
turn them into the cotton candy, and then
Yep.
continue forward.
All to be eaten
Yep.
at some point or
Okay.
another.
That is one of the theories.
Okay.
The other theory is a lot more nefarious.
Yeah.
It's they're enslaving a small portion of the population to bring back to their planet so then they can farm out babies that then they can keep turning into cotton candy.
Oh, was it
and
mostly
keep it
women who were
going.
put into balloons?
Yeah, there's a phone call at the police station. He goes, my wife got taken away in a balloon. He's like, you don't need a police officer. You need a psychiatrist. Mooney says that.
Yep, that's
and
right.
so
So someone else got taken in a balloon.
Yeah, yep. The other theory is that the clowns are able to impregnate the women and create more because they're all men, except for Debbie's roommates.
Oh,
The
yeah.
two
There are
female
2
clowns.
female clowns in there. I do want to just explain what we were talking about with that.
Yep.
When we are in the fairgrounds and we are, towards the end here, we're trying to find where the clowns are at and rescue Debbie or whatever. The Chiodo brothers are along for the ride.
Terenzi brothers.
Terenzi brothers. Yep, sorry. Wrong
No,
bros.
it's okay. A lot
Wrong
of bros. A lot of bros.
And we find these 2 female clowns that are hanging out with them. And, yeah, the thing that's odd about them as the Terenzi brothers say hey to them, like all of a sudden their chests start to like inflate. And
Yeah, their
awkward.
chi-chis get really big.
Like balloons.
And then they don't get killed. Next time we see them, what do they look like?
They've had kisses all over their
They
faces.
have kisses on their faces and shredded clothes.
Yeah.
So the clowns didn't kill him. They just kissed him a lot.
Just had their way with them.
Yeah, apparently. They're hanging out in the ball pit.
Yeah. That's odd.
Oh, yep, for sure. So executives, they saw this movie and they said, we want more clowns throughout the whole movie.
Uh-huh.
And the Chiodos were like, no, you start with just a few clowns. We just get you used to just like 8 clowns.
Mm-hmm.
And then we expand to more clowns with like the scene where they're going through the street and at the end when they're getting chased and stuff. And the executives were like, no, we need more clowns.
Really?
And so they added a couple scenes.
Okay.
They added the scene pizza. And then they added a scene right after that. Do you remember what it is?
Is it the scene with the little girl at the shop?
No, that was already in there.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That one always kind of like makes me a little nervous.
The
That's the
music's
first time
creepy in
that
that
you're going to
one.
see like a little kid and not a college kid get taken away by the clown. So you start to feel a little like,
Yep.
Are we going to cross that line?
Because he's motioning for her to come while he's at the
yeah,
restaurant.
he's trying to like
He's trying to get
kidnap
this little
her.
kid to go outside. And what's he got behind his back?
He's got a giant mallet behind
So he's not
it.
going to turn her into cotton candy. He's just into just destruction.
He's going to smack her on the head.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about that clown later on too.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah.
No, they added the scene right after that, or after the pizza scene, where he goes. There's a big fat one. I think his name is Fatso actually. They open the door and he goes, "For you." Which this is something we need to talk about. They sometimes speak English.
They can talk a little bit.
Yep.
Bordeaux.
Not like really a lot, but they
No.
can. I think they can understand you.
Mm-hmm.
And they just speak in like small phrases.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like gibberish. Like
Yeah.
baby gibberish.
Like it sounds like one time one of the first ones you see says, "Oh brother," when those girls like go into the convenience shop, and then when he says "com bodies" or something
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
when they're doing the march.
Small, yeah. Short little phrases.
yep, just little things.
Adorable though.
The original ending did not have Dave surviving. Dave was going to
Dave
die.
was gonna die. Dave is the officer.
Yep,
by
the
way.
police officer.
The police academy.
And you got this problem with my training. But the Terenzis still were going to survive in the ice cream truck.
No matter what.
Or in the
We're always
clown
gonna
car.
have them survive.
Yep. Terenzis are going to survive.
Yep.
Dave not.
I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about the Terenzis, and I wouldn't have felt one way or the other if they
they
didn't
would've
make
just
it to
died.
the end. I cared if Dave died or not.
So you were really happy Dave lived?
Yes, of course I was.
Why were you so happy? Explain it.
He's so handsome.
Yeah, we never talked about this.
Yeah.
How attractive is Dave?
Very attractive.
Yeah.
Dave's is a man's man, and he's a grown-up. So Dave actually, in some ways, is more attractive than Mike in this film.
Yeah. Well, what does he say to Mike when they're driving the car? He was talking about Debbie. Oh, he goes, "It's obvious she goes for kicks and not stability."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because, plot point, very important plot point.
Yep.
Dave, our police academy, who we run to and we try to convince, the reason why we're able to convince him is because Debbie and Dave used to date.
Yes.
And so now we've got this, like, love triangle going.
Triangle.
Yep. So they got these guys like, we got to go rescue Debbie. And then
Yep.
both of them obviously are very much still
smitten
with her. So it's kind of fun. Watch it from that angle. That's very exciting,
Yep.
too.
And then be questioning the entire time, who does Debbie end up with?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Try to figure that one out.
Who does she give her heart to at the end?
Yep.
Is it Mike, who's always been there, or is it Dave, who just saved the world?
Yep.
It's hard to say.
It is hard to say.
Mhm.
What do you think?
I don't know. I would imagine it's still Mike. However, there's this moment where Dave kisses her on the forehead.
Yeah, but she doesn't
at the
reciprocate.
end. I know, that's why it's hard to
He
say.
puts his hands on her shoulder and he kisses her on the back of the head. And then Debbie's just like has her hands to her side and like does not like touch Dave at all. And so you don't know, like, is she just letting him do that because he went through a traumatic experience?
Yeah, honestly, it's a little like those Joe Biden films. A little bit. It's like, I'm just gonna freeze. I'm gonna kiss him head, and I'm not gonna do anything because this is weird.
Just keep telling myself it's harmless. Just keep telling myself it's harmless.
Didn't ask for that. Didn't ask for that.
Oh my gosh. The movie was originally going to be titled Killer Klowns. Just Killer Klowns.
Oh, okay.
But the 2 Ks still. You know the clowns are spelled with a K in this movie, right?
I do.
Yep.
And we talk about why
Classic.
that might be. Just
No, I don't think
somebody
so.
messed that up on the bulletin board and it was like, oh, it's K with a K. That's a good idea. What movie was it that was spelled with a K? We had this on a podcast.
Oh,
Something
you're
was spelled with a K and
right.
they're like, oh, yeah, I knew that.
Oh gosh, I don't remember, but you're right.
All right,
You're
it'll
right.
come to us.
Yep.
It'll come to us.
No, they were gonna call it just Killer Clowns,
Mm-hmm.
and the Chiodos, when they got in post production, they were like, it just feels too much like it's supposed to be a slasher. I think people are going to think it's scarier than it is. Like, I think we need to set them up that it's goofy. So I think we should call it Killer Klowns from Outer Space, because then it puts them, it's not these psycho clown slasher killers. It's goofy clowns from outer space that are doing crazy stuff.
I agree. And honestly, that's probably how you were able to convince me at a young age to watch this as well.
Well, when you say young age, you were 24?
I was young. I was so young and naive.
The film releases May 27th of 1988, so we were a little over a year old. I think I might have seen this one in the theaters.
What do you mean? How would you have seen it in the theaters?
I think we went with my babysitter. The movie cost $1.8 million.
Mortal Kombat. It was Combat with a K.
Oh, it was Combat with a K. You're right. It was for the
Sorry.
video game.
I had to get it out. I was going to lose
job.
it.
Nice job.
Combat with a K.
You went far back in our catalog to find that.
It just happened.
Oh, it just came to you?
It honestly just happened.
It's like the clouds parted and God said, I love you, alfalfa.
Mortal Kombat.
Nice. That's wonderful. The movie costs a little under $2 million to make, and it makes $15.6 million here for the box office. But then afterwards, like total, after like DVD sales and everything, it's made $43.6 million and become a cult classic.
It is a cult classic with a K.
Yes.
Both times.
Yeah, K. Killer Klowns is a cult classic.
For sure.
Here's some of the tags. I think you'll like these. It's crazy.
Is crazy with a K?
No, it's not. It's not. The greatest show on Earth, just not of Earth.
Oh, interesting. Use of the preposition.
Yeah, I like it. I really
not
like it.
Of Earth.
Step right up and see the greatest show in the galaxy. Admission is free, but will you survive? Here's the one that's on the DVD case.
Okay.
In space, no one can eat ice cream. Now, it might sound really stupid, but think about it. Do you know another popular tag that's very similar?
No one can hear you scream.
Yes.
I thought they were going to go with no one can hear you laugh or giggle because they're clowns.
Oh.
They do the ice cream thing.
Because scream. No one can hear you scream. No one can eat ice cream.
Oh, that's the
It's just
angle?
a rhyme.
That's what they're going
Yeah.
with? Not the...
Well, it's supposed to be like Alien.
Not the Terenzi brothers tag about ice cream?
No.
That's what I thought that was about. Oh, but you're right.
I think-
Scream and ice cream.
Yeah, I think they're doing a play off
You're
of...
right. You're right.
Of
Oh,
Alien
that makes it
to
almost
make it rhyme.
even worse, I would say.
Which is funny because, like I said, that's on the DVD cover. So that's like their main slogan.
Well, you know.
And then the next one is big top, big shoes, big teeth. Do you have a favorite?
A favorite?
Do you have a favorite?
I think some of the earlier ones. I did not like those last two at all.
I
those
think
were very
the
poor.
greatest show on Earth, just not of Earth, is really fun.
Yeah,
That's my
that one's
favorite.
like, ooh, of Earth?
Yeah, that's
of
fun.
Earth.
Do you want to guess the Rotten Tomatoes score?
Oh, tricky. I don't know if people appreciate this movie like you obviously do. Fanboy over here. It's so fun though. I mean, I'll get into my score. But spoiler, I think it's fresh, but I don't know if everyone else thinks it's fresh. So,
What about the critics? We'll do audience too. What do you think critics think?
yeah, critics, I'm gonna say they put it like in the 40s.
No.
Higher?
Higher.
In the 60s?
Higher.
80s?
Nope, not that high. 76.
I knew I overshot it. I knew. 76%.
76%.
That's great.
I think it's wonderful.
Oh, that makes me
And
really happy.
You know what I used to love is Johnny would always come back, my roommate in college and one of my best buds. He'd come back and he'd always be like, this movie's so scary. And then we'd look it up on Rotten Tomatoes and it'd be like, it's lower than Killer Klowns. He's like, I think it's bullshit Killer Klowns has such a high rating. I was like, no, it's perfect. It actually should be higher. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, to be fair, that's not about being scared. It's not about 70% when it's scary. Although, we need to talk about the jail scene and the puppeting of Officer Mooney.
Yeah.
And how that is quite scary.
Well, we can get into that now. I do have a section coming up a little later, like what is actually scary.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
let's save it for then.
So we can save it a little
for
bit,
then,
or
please.
we can go into it right now.
Nope. Tell me audience score.
Okay, so 76% for the Rotten Tomato score, which my buddy Johnny, he would always say, like, they need to redo this movie and make it actually scary. And I would always argue, like, no. This movie's perfect. This is what I want it to be. I don't want it to be actually scary. Go watch it if you want to watch a scary clown.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's a movie for you. It's a great movie. Go watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
Watch Killer Klowns for the enjoyment, for the comedy, for the wonder.
Wonder, those great practical effects. The love triangle.
The audience score is unfortunately rotten.
Oh.
Just barely, though.
People don't get it.
It's a 59%. 1% on the rotten side. The critics' consensus, Killer Klowns from Outer Space title promises darkly goofy fun. And more often than not, this movie delivers. Here's a couple things that are from like different sources and things. So one site says, I think one of the Terenzis says it, but I don't know when he says it. But he says a "Clowns Are Us" line. Where'd they get that? Clowns are us? And that was listed as the worst line in cinema history, according to one publication.
Wow. Wow, the worst line.
Yep, worst line in cinema history.
What an award.
Now, a very, very reputable website called JoeBlow.com gave the film a rating of 8 out of 10. And it says, this film is the king of 80s B movies, and it delivers the tacky goods by the truckloads. A couple more reputable sources. The AV Club says, this film is patently absurd, but the filmmakers are fully committed to that absurdity, and it's hard not to respect. MTV says, a far more interesting horror movie threat than they have any right to be. And that's all thanks to the cleverness of those Chiodo boys.
Those Chiodos.
So I have a bunch of like trivia and things to get into, and then we'll kind of break it down as far as like things that we encountered on our journey through this last time.
Sure.
This movie has a Memphis-style art design. Have you ever heard that? You're kind of an art.
A Memphis-style art design?
Memphis-style art design.
I don't know what that means at all. From a cinema standpoint?
It means, no, it's from an art standpoint, like the colors, and the shapes and things. So it's all about bright colors, squiggly lines. Think 80s crazy color and things like that. That's also Memphis art style.
Okay.
Yep. But it tends to be a little circusy.
Oh, okay.
So, and this movie is known to be like one of the best movies to do that art style.
And that was intentional?
Mm-hmm. They were going for this Memphis art style.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good for them.
There's also a lot of homages to other movies, including Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You've never seen that movie?
No.
It's not scary, but it's unnerving because of what it does to society more than anything.
Okay.
As people start to get like replaced by like alien versions of themselves.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
So it's kind of creepy. And the cocoons, the cotton candy cocoons kind of get taken from that. And then The Blob. Have you ever seen The Blob?
I have not seen The Blob.
Do you know what The Blob is about?
Yes. It's about a blob from outer space, and it slowly goops and goes and takes people in.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like a big amoeba.
Yeah.
It just like swallows you.
Yeah, slowly.
Yep.
Very slowly.
The opening scene of the Blob movie is the Blob. There's like a farmer out in the woods, and he's poking at this blob with a stick, and it crawls up the stick, and it goes on his hand.
Oh,
and so he's got this thing on his hand. He's like,
no.
what is going on? And he can't get it off. He goes to the doctor. They can't get the thing off his hand, and then it gradually like takes him
he
over.
Gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. So think about the opening farmer scene there.
Perfect.
What in the heck? What the frick is that reactor room that they go in at the beginning of the movie? Mike and Debbie first go into the tent, and they go into this room, and there's this really creepy music. It's like, and then there's like this orb that's shooting lightning out. What is going on?
Do you know? Or
No,
do you want me to...
I don't. I try to look up stuff. Nobody knows.
Honestly, I think the gist of it, is to make you feel like, oh, this is not of this world. This is crazy. This is not a tent. It also, you know what it kind of looks like? I think there's a scene in Star Wars that kind of has a similar look to that.
Oh.
So I'm wondering.
Another homage.
I'm just wondering, could that be something like, what's a cool way that we could show that this is a spaceship?
Yep.
or that this is not just a regular tent with a lot of weird stuff at it. Like,
Yeah.
how would Debbie jump to the conclusion that this is a spaceship?
Mm-hmm.
Is she just that intuitive?
I told you,
Or-
she's clever. She's
She's
clever
clever.
and cautious.
Clever and cautious.
Mike is dumb and likes to explore.
Yeah, dumb and fun.
Dumb and fun. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I could come up with is like, does that power the spaceship?
Probably. I'm sure it's a source
Some
of
sort
power.
of reactor.
Anything with lightning in it is probably a source of power for a spaceship.
Yep.
More or less. It's probably very important to the functioning of the ship.
But if they stay in that room, will they get electrocuted?
Oh, that is the question. That we will have to wait and find out.
For the sequel, which we'll get into.
Yep. Wait, what?
So the clown in the police station.
Yes.
Is it time to talk about him?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Oh, I want to tell you a little bit about that guy.
Okay.
The guy who plays that clown in the police station
Uh-huh.
is the director of Lawnmower Man. Have you ever heard of that movie?
I have not had the privilege of hearing of that film.
And the movie Virtuosity. Have you ever heard of that movie?
I've heard of that film.
That movie's actually on our Summers Off list.
It is?
It is. Do you know who's in that movie?
I don't.
It's Denzel Washington
Okay.
versus Russell Crowe. Early Russell Crowe.
Whoa.
You get to see Russell Crowe's butt.
Okay.
They'll get excited. And they're dueling. Russell Crowe comes out of a virtual reality program where he's a serial killer. And he escapes, and he is a real-life human being now.
Oh, dear.
Yep. Denzel's got to track him down.
So the director of that
The director is that
in
clown.
this clown suit?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's him.
Humble beginnings? Or not, maybe not so humble.
I should remember that when I think about things that I don't want to do. But I would love to be that clown, though. So it's like,
that's
do
true.
I really not want to do
Well,
that?
what is your clown? What is your clown suit?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't be resistant to it. Whatever it is. When it comes, you'll know.
Yeah. So let's talk about that clown.
Yeah.
In that jail scene.
Yeah, probably one of the two, for me, one of the two scariest clowns in this show. Probably because they're the most serious.
Yep.
That one, and then there's another one who just like, I think it's the one who laughs as the car goes off the cliff and
Ha
is on
ha
fire.
ha 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 ha.
I don't know, is it singing?
That's how he laughs.
I don't remember it being so
I'll
melodic.
try to play it for the audience.
But like just like seeing like his like rotted teeth as he's laughing and just like the flames on his glowing on his face, very evil looking, like that, quite creepy.
You know what's interesting about what you're saying?
What?
Is according to the Killer Klowns fan wiki, those are the two chief antagonists.
Oh.
Those two.
Yeah.
That one that you're talking about, his name is Slim. He's 9 feet tall.
Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Creepy.
So that's Slim, and I don't remember what the other one's name is. We'll get into all their names in a second.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so those two are the creepiest clowns, and those are the two leaders according to this wiki.
Honestly, I could see it because they pose a bit more threat than the other
They're
ones.
more
Like
vicious.
Shorty is kind of cute.
Even though he punches somebody's head off.
Yeah, but he was warned. And even like the
He
other
was warned.
one.
You're right. I don't even know if he was gonna kill that guy.
We don't know.
If he just honked his horn normally and he'd be like, "All right, see you, buddies," you know,
Yeah.
does he just ride off?
Yeah, and the other guys were like the pizza there, the fat one. Like, I don't know.
Fatso,
They
yeah.
were just, and you had the one that was with Shorty when they were in the drugstore just making a mess of everything.
Yep, the
like,
tall one.
They're just
Yep.
goofy.
I like that one.
They're
That's
just
my
goofy
favorite
and
one.
kind of sweet looking. But yeah, those two, there's a bit more malice.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep, they're
with
more
them.
evil.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell.
Yep, you can tell. But the guy, the clown that's in the jail scene, so this is kind of cool because we've got Officer Mooney, and he keeps getting all these like phone calls from people around town who are like, "Hey, come help me!" And he's like, "You guys are all in on this, just pulling this prank on me." He's like, so he's not ready to believe that anything is happening. And so then one of the clowns shows up at the police department.
The one that Rach is the scariest.
This is the scary
green
one.
hair, purple outfit.
Yep. Let that paint a picture for you. It's terrifying. Yeah, and so they kind of have their scene, but what ends up happening is that clown ends up kind of making a human puppet out of Mooney.
Which Mooney says at the beginning of the film, "Go ahead, Dave. Let them make a dummy out of you, but they're not going to make a dummy out of me."
Go ahead, Dave. Make a dummy out of yourself. But you're not gonna make a dummy out of me.
Oh my gosh, foreshadowing is incredible.
Tell
in
me this script isn't good.
Tell me. Except for that one Clowns R Us line, tell me.
Yeah, even I don't hate the Clowns R Us line.
It's honestly, it's not the
fine.
worst. It's not
It's
the
fine.
worst.
It's not the best line of the movie. It's not terrible.
Yeah, so that's a bit creepy. And then so like later,
and the music in that whole police station is creepy.
That's probably the one scene where I was like, ooh, I don't know. The first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know what's coming. I
There's
was ready
a jump
for
in that
There's
scene.
a jump in that scene. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We won't spoil it for you, but there's a jump.
Just ready.
And when I was a kid and I'd watch this movie,
Mm-hmm.
the whole movie was enjoyable to me except for that scene.
Yep.
That scene was always hard for me to get through.
Yeah. Well, you were also 4 years old. It was not appropriate for you to get through that scene developmentally wise.
Thanks, babe. That helps. I feel vindicated.
Oh, good.
Vindicated. Yep. So that's the scariest scene. Well, and what does he say as Officer Mooney?
Yeah, so we've got Dave, our young police academy, ends up coming to... Sexy Dave comes, and he finds Mooney and this clown has Mooney kind of as like a hand puppet, and he's like doing like ventriloquism with him. And I think the line, I mean, he's kind of talking through Mooney for a little bit, which is really also creepy.
Cool.
Like you're talking with the clown.
Yeah.
And Mooney is just so good. This is probably... for the Academy Awards, this would be the scene that I would want them to play.
Yeah, with the little clips that they'd show.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like he just like leans forward and he's like, "Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you." I blacked out for a second. I forgot what it was.
No, it's
Thanks,
okay.
Ty.
Yep. I just mouthed it. She got it.
Drama.
It's so good.
Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
And then he throws him off, and he's got blood all over his hand, the clown does, and he goes, like it flops down on the ground. It's so cool.
It is gruesome. Gruesome.
Yep. Yeah, that scene is the scariest scene in the movie. What was your number 2? Was it when he was at the big top, same clown, gonna hammer that girl?
Yeah, is it the same clown?
That's the same clown.
Yeah.
That clown is your scariest clown.
Very malice.
Yep.
He's probably my scariest. The second one would be the one laughing
Red
above
hair.
the car flames on the
Slim.
ground. That one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that those are the 2 scariest clowns for sure. Mike and we already talked about Mike and Debbie's role reversals. Oh, here's a funny thing. So in the movie, Debbie's shower, how long do you think it takes movie time? Like minutes in the film?
I mean...
Not how much do they focus on it, but how much time passes in the film while she's taking a shower?
Like quite a lot, actually. Is it like a half hour?
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
20 minutes of film time takes place. And I don't know how they figured this, but somebody went through and chronologically spaced out all the events and like put them into a timeline. And apparently Debbie's shower is over 2 hours long.
So great.
Which also makes sense because Debbie's covered in popcorn. She takes off her clothes. You see her sexy abs. And then you see these little popcorn kernels on the ground.
Yep.
And then when she gets out of the shower, what have those kernels turned into,
They're
Rach?
like weird little zombie clown arm thing. I don't even know how to describe them.
Yeah,
What would
they're
you just like?
I would say they're like tentacles on the bottom, but clown heads on the top, like baby clown heads.
Yeah, they're like these little like Venus
Clown
flytrap
worms?
things that are going like snapping at her.
Yeah.
But they just have heads and little necks. It's very weird.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if she took a 2-hour shower, it makes sense how those popcorns were able to
They
morph
had time
into those
to
clowns.
evolve.
Yep.
Evolution took place. That's so great.
Now, for the different clowns, and you can kind of tell, like when you're watching the movie, because of how their like models are for their faces and things. They made 4 different masks, and there's 4 different clown masks that are round, triangle, inverted triangle, and peanut. And then they just like dress them up different ways, different wigs, different like little characteristics, different colors and stuff to make them look different. These masks would be reused in another Halloween movie, future Summers Off movie. You've seen it and you hate it. I think you might think it's the worst movie of all time instead of Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh.
Give a guess.
It's not Halloween 3.
No. It's not a Halloween movie. It's just a season Halloween movie.
Oh.
Not one of the Halloween chronological movies.
Oh. Oh gosh, what did I say was the worst movie of all time?
Well, you said Big Trouble in Little China, and I said, isn't it this? And you said maybe. I'd have to see it again. There's
no, not Ladybugs.
No.
That's terrible too. Not Friday the 13th?
No, it's not scary.
Yeah.
But it's Halloween. Ernest. Scared. Stupid.
Oh, no.
Those clowns are repurposed for the trolls in Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh, no way.
Yep. You've seen Ernest Scared Stupid, right?
Yeah.
I know you've seen Ernest Goes to Jail. You hated that one.
I think I've seen Scared Stupid, though, too.
Yeah. Scared Stupid went to the theater.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't
Did
see
it?
I
Yeah,
didn't,
it did.
I didn't see it there. I'll tell you that. I could just leave,
Well,
take or leave those movies.
Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, that was on the chopping block for this season. We just missed it. We just ran out of time. It was going to be a third movie.
Oh, man.
So you know what that means? Something to look forward to next year.
Yay.
How many clowns do you think are in that last scene? There's a bunch of clowns that come out from all different sides, and they're up on this tiny, like, little pyramid thing, and they're everywhere.
20?
More.
40?
Nailed it.
Yeah?
40 clowns.
40 clowns?
Yep.
Whoa, that's
Yep.
quite a lot.
Several of them that you only see in that shot. How many kills do you think are in this movie? How many people get killed?
Oh, did you find a kill count for this?
I did. I have a kill count.
Oh my gosh. God, that town.
Yeah,
Probably wasn't that big,
you know,
but-
they're probably counting just like little cocoons you see on the street and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are probably counted in this
And
number.
so they're not
'cause-
counting balloons because those aren't kills, right?
No, balloons wouldn't be kills.
I'm going to say 30?
Close. It's more.
40?
It's 40.
40 again?
Just like 40 clowns is 40 kills.
40 kills, 40 clowns.
Yep. How many clowns get killed?
2?
A little bit more than that.
5.
A little bit less.
4.
So we have the jail kill.
Yes, he bops. Yep, that's where we
Yep.
figure out that we shoot him at the nose.
One of the two scariest clowns gets killed in that scene.
Yep.
And then we get a kill when they're running away, like when they're in the pyramid again and they're running away from everybody. Dave shotguns one of the clowns to the nose.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they blow up. He's a fat one.
Yep, okay.
And then they continue to run away. And
Mm-hmm.
when we have this classic moment, another door, another door, we get...
Classic Funhouse
I
comedy.
love, that's maybe one of my favorite moments in cinema history.
Steph, another door!
I can't take this anymore.
Come on, open the door! Another door! Come on, Mike!
Another door! Another door!
We get another kill clown at that moment, and then we
Okay.
get the final
And then the
Clownzilla
final
kill.
one, which kind of counts as like 2 because he's so big.
Yeah, and it counts as like 1,000 or 40 because all the other clowns get blown up too.
Yeah, I don't know that I understand how they're all connected. Are they all like one clown?
Yeah,
arch, or,
talk
like, what
talk
is-
this through. Why do you say that?
Well,
what
like we
happens?
have the big boss fight, but then all the minions die at the end of the boss fight. And is that how boss fights always work?
And
like,
yeah, you blow up Clownzilla,
mhm.
and the tent blows up too.
Yeah, like somehow he is
The life force.
He is Killer Klowns. He
Yeah.
is the ship, the
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
It's pretty brilliant
It
of Dave
is.
to have realized that so early on.
Mhm.
All he needs to
Well-
do is bop his nose, and this can all be over.
And the other clowns, for one thing, the other clowns love Bozo the clown or whatever, or the great and powerful JoJo, the ice cream truck clown. They like love that clown.
Mhm.
They want to be led by a big clown.
They do.
The
yeah,
little clowns
you can
do.
tell. Mhm.
Yep. They just want a leader.
Mhm.
And so Clownzilla is their leader. And they're like, we lost the will to live once he's died. And we'll self-destruct our own tent. Oh. Rach, do you know what the fear of clowns is called?
Ooh, I don't. Something phobia.
Nailed it.
Yeah, did I?
Something phobia.
What's it start with?
C.
What's the French word for clown? What's
I
the
don't
Latin
know.
word for clown? Clown. Clownphobia.
Nope. It's called coulrophobia. COULRO phobia.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It's on the tip of your tongue?
Always.
Why do you think people are so afraid of clowns?
Well,
Got a little history for you.
Do you?
I do.
Do you want to? Yeah. I mean, I don't need to look like a fool. You can
No,
just,
go ahead. Do you have a guess?
I think there's a lot of uncertainty with like people. It's people who are also afraid of like mascots and things like that. When you're dressed up, it's kind of like I don't trust who you are. I don't know who you are. I think it's a sensory overload for a lot of people, like seeing something that bright and vibrant and loud, oftentimes. Yeah, or they watch too many scary movies.
Well, let me just tell you a little bit about clowns and their history.
Sure.
So, clowns defy the social hierarchy throughout a lot of history, like in the Renaissance and feudal times.
Oh, we're going to get into it. We're going to like Falstaff. Is that where we're going?
You can have a clown. Well,
jesters?
Falstaff's not a clown, but yeah, for sure. So you can have these clown characters, not only in plays, but also in just society. You have these clowns that can make fun of the king, and they don't get their heads chopped off.
Yeah.
They are the fool who like almost they're in their own little space in the social hierarchy. They're like untouchable. They can make fun of anybody. They can do anything.
Yeah.
And that was that uncertainty and that lack of rules is like one of the things that they think like helped devise this whole like freaky clown kind of idea.
I'm a little uneasy around you, clown.
Because they're social outsiders. And then they get really mischievous in the Renaissance period with Commedia dell'arte. Like the clown characters are always playing tricks on their masters. They're always doing more nefarious things. Sometimes like tricking their masters into losing everything. But we tend to like them in Renaissance, but still, like once again, you're a little tricky, you're a little shifty clown.
I'm watching you.
And then they start getting attached to kids in the 1900s.
Okay.
So once we hit 1900s, it's like clowns are for kids, even though they haven't been for all their history. And so they're still social outcasts, though. They're still nefarious. They're still mischievous. And so that's what people think why they're afraid of clowns, because it's been this like social trope throughout all of history.
Gotcha. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Now listen to this. Listen to the clown's names. The clown you're most afraid of?
Yeah.
His name?
Yeah, what was that one?
Jumbo.
Yep.
The one who gives candy to the lady for you.
Yeah, that one's cute.
Fatso.
Yeah,
He's the
I
fat
like
one.
Fatso.
The one who's a boxer, we already said his name.
Shorty.
Shorty. Shorty's like the melody. And then the one, I also like this one. Shorty and this one are my two favorites.
The tall one that kind of got into the
He has
mess.
red hair. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He sneezes, or not, Shorty sneezes, but he gets whipped cream on his face and stuff. His name is Rudy.
Rudy. That's
Rudy
a
the
sweet
clown.
Name.
The one who has the puppet show?
Yes.
Would you have a name for him?
Lopsy.
Nope. Spike.
He's
got
spiky hair. Yep.
And then we already said the one on the bike, his name is Slim.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other ones. The one who puts the crazy straw in, he's even fatter than Fatso.
Oh yeah, what's that one's
His
name?
name's Chubby.
He's taking sneaks. He's taking little peeks there.
Yep. And then there's that one who jumps on the car when they're trying to escape, and then he like falls off the car, and then he like does the Michael Myers sit up, Undertaker sit up.
Oh yeah.
His name is Bibbo.
Bibbo?
Yep. And then Debbie's roommates, who have the jugs that inflate.
Mm-hmm.
You have a name?
Flopsy and Flopsy.
No. You have great bunny rabbit names. Have I ever told you that? They are Rosebud and Daisy. By the way, I don't know if these are official or not, like if you look through the credits.
Yeah.
Or if this is once again the Killer Klowns wiki was like, we're going to name all these clowns.
Oh, I love it. I love when the fans come together.
Okay. I want to talk. By the way, this is going to be a long episode, so don't even look at the time. It doesn't matter. We're having fun. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Let's have a good time.
Take a break.
What is the science behind this movie? Why are these killer clowns here? Where do they come from? What are they doing? What's going on?
What is happening?
You kind of mentioned their eating habits.
They eat. So I think it's like any kind of alien invader piece. They come around. They're almost like parasites. They're not going to like dominate. They just like coming by for a snack.
Yep.
I think that's maybe said somewhere in the film.
Yeah, when the Terenzi brother says that.
Yeah, they just
cruising through the galaxy, stop by for a bite to eat.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. They're hungry. They got fuel. They're close by. They just feast on the living.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they look like clowns. I can't really explain that. Or why they're so well versed in clown culture on Earth. Does that work on other
well,
planets?
Mike says an interesting philosophy. He goes, maybe our idea of clowns comes from them, from like the ancient world. Like these clowns came by, and then they started writing or like acting like clowns too.
I'm sure it's somewhere there in
Yeah,
between
I
those
could see
theories, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we have to make sense of this world, that's what I would say.
Now, when you go from popcorn to weird tentacle clown baby,
Yeah.
do you just keep growing up and you become a fully fledged clown eventually?
No, I don't think so. I think that's like a separate creature. I don't think that's going to be a clown at some point. I think it's just a pet of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think. Do
Yep.
you think that you become
I don't know.
a clown from
Part of
popcorn?
me wonders if you do, but maybe only some survive. Like maybe just like one out of those like first batch. Maybe the big
Sure.
one in the
They have
toilet.
a high infant
in
mortality
Debbie's.
rate.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They don't make it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty haphazard.
Now there's a scene where after he does the puppet show, he gets the Tyrannosaurus Rex and he gets all those people, and he opens his popcorn bag and he puts them in there.
Oh, yeah.
Do they become popcorn? I know, there's a lot to think about.
I'll be honest. That's probably my one complaint with this is we haven't quite thought some of these things through a little bit.
And I bet those Chiodos have a lot of ideas and have a lot of things they want to flesh out, but they keep not getting a chance with their freaking sequels. We'll get into that in a second.
Okay.
So here's what it says in the extras. It says the Chiodos say they're not clowns. They're slugs that look like clowns. I think they're just messing with everybody,
Love
to be honest
it.
with you.
No, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm here for it.
They're alien slugs that look like clowns.
Cool.
Let's talk about the sequel.
Yeah. What sequel?
The sequel, this talk bums me out. It has been bandied about since right after the movie came out. The Chiodos have at different times have had studios sign on and been like, yeah, let's do it. And then it always the rug gets yanked out from under them in pre-production. Constantly. They've gotten to the point where they're like, we'll make it direct to TV. Like, we'll do a sci-fi movie.
Netflix.
We'll do a Netflix movie. We'll do anything. It does not matter. The closest they ever got was back in 2010, and I remember the movie poster came out. They had a poster for it.
Oh.
And then they showed like certain stills and stuff like of the new clown costumes and things. It was exciting. Grant Kramer, who's played Mike, he was in it. He was going to be in it. He's going to play a crazy guy in town. He's like, I swear the clowns are coming back. And everybody believes him. They're like, you're crazy, Mike.
Perfect.
And the movie was in pre-pro. They were just about to get started shooting. And the plug got yanked out for that one. They lost the funding from the Sci-Fi Channel for that one. It was going to be a 3D movie.
Fun.
This was during the 3D phase back in 2010.
I don't know if I need it to be, but
I don't need it to be 3D.
Would have been fun
Yep.
then.
But then what happened, they started to pick up steam again, and Disney bought the property.
Oh, no.
And Disney canceled all pre-pro on it.
Oh.
And so Disney, Mickey Mouse,
Now they
killed
own
this
it.
movie.
And they can do whatever they want with it, which may be nothing.
Which sucks, because this was also at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
Yep.
And it was drumming up a lot of interest again because it was a really fun Halloween Horror Nights thing to go through. And now that Disney bought it, I don't know if it'll ever go back. I don't know how the rights work with that.
But why would Disney buy it just to sit on it?
Because
Don't
that's
you
what
wanna
Disney does.
Really?
They just sit on stuff.
Well,
I don't know if that's true.
Don't you want?
But they're just buying
the point
everything.
is to buy it to eventually do something
Well,
with it, to turn a profit.
I'm sure Killer Klowns was a part of a package. I don't think they just bought Killer Klowns.
Okay.
I think it was probably part of a big conglomeration of films. And now it's like, well, somebody's going to have to buy Disney out for this property if they want it. Very unfortunate.
Fear not, babe. Our children's children will probably have a sequel.
Yeah?
Or a new retelling, maybe.
A new fun Killer Klowns retelling?
Yeah.
Because we've already got
Maybe.
Scary Clowns. I don't need Scary Clowns. I've
Yeah.
got it. It scratches that itch.
We do not need any more scary clowns.
I just want fun clowns.
Yeah.
Fun clown comedy horror.
Do you think the claustrophobia really increased dramatically after the book It came out?
The book?
Yeah.
There's a book?
The book It?
Oh, the book It.
book It.
I was like, wait.
Don't talk to me like I'm an idiot.
I never said there's a Killer Klowns book. Do you know something I don't know?
No, the book It
Christmas,
came out.
please. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe.
I just wonder.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time I can remember seeing a scary clown.
Was It?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even though Gacy and stuff was...
Well, I mean, William, the serial killer?
Yeah. He dressed up as a clown.
But not when he killed people. That was
No,
just like
that's true.
something else that he did.
Yeah, that's a good
He's
point.
just a little weirdo. But yeah, it wasn't like he showed up to people's houses and was like, hey, I'm a clown. Come with me and I'll kill you. It wasn't quite like that. But, I mean, still, it does definitely make it an interesting story if we talk about his clowning.
Yeah. Yep.
As well.
So we've kind of already gotten into acting talk. And I was going to ask this. At the end of the movie, pies fall down and they hit our 3 leads in the face.
Yeah.
We've already established that pies melt you.
Yeah.
Did their faces get melted off?
They should have. If we stayed consistent, they should all be half deformed right now because their faces have been melted.
Okay.
But I don't think that's how it went.
Okay, so we have observations we made throughout the movie, quotes and things like that.
Yeah.
I think let's get into them,
Sure.
and then we'll get into our reviews, and we'll do a little scary movie wrap up.
Very good. Well, I want to say that I had a lot of my pieces we talked about. We talked about a lot of the quotes that I had. We talked about which ones of the clowns I thought were the cutest.
Yeah, you said Shorty's the cutest,
Shorty's the cutest. Also, actually, I think the one who offers the flowers to her and he goes, for you.
Fatso? Yep.
Yeah, Fatso is also up there for me as well. And then one line that we didn't get to. We've gotten to a lot of quotes, but one of my favorite lines goes back to the moon, and he says, I had to shoot you right now, you red-nosed freak. And that was great.
I will be remiss if we never say this quote. Hey, maybe we could just park here for a while. Hey, what kind of girls do you think we are? You said we could have all the ice cream we wanted, but you never said anything about parking. Love that
Hey,
line.
come on. Keep your clothes on. Keep your shirt on.
Don't worry, we intend to. So good.
Terenzi Bros
So
at it again.
good.
Those guys. And I just love how amused Mike is with those guys. He's like,
Yeah.
these guys are great.
Terenzi Brothers. Whenever I want a good time, I go Rich and Paul, and a night out with them is like, whoa. And then Debbie goes, That's
Yeah.
your response.
He's like, oh, God, why did I break up with Dave? He's got a career. He looks great in a uniform. I've got this goof over here with his raft in his back of his seat.
Oh my gosh. Those clowns love props, by the way. They have like firefighter helmets on when they're holding a trampoline when Debbie's gonna jump out the window, which is so funny. They have little props that they love to use.
I love clowns dressed up as other things. It's very silly.
Yep.
It's very silly.
Oh, I have a bone to pick with you on air.
Uh-oh.
So
Ruh-roh.
there's a moment in the movie towards the end where the Terenzi brothers, they're walking down these steps and there's this big red ball on the wall that like has a button to push. And one of the Terenzi brothers pushes the button and it like makes smoke come up and it like gets on Dave.
Yeah.
And Rach immediately goes like, that's so much like you. Offended.
Not too offended because you brought it up.
Yeah, it's kind of true though.
Yeah, anytime we're anywhere where it says do not touch or stay on the side of the line, Ty's always like, oh, let's go. Yeah, it's a little bit closer here. I'm not going to touch it. I just want to look at it really closely.
Rach hates in museums because I like to point at things. And whenever I point, her line of vision gets confused and muddled and she like thinks that I'm touching the painting where I want her to look.
Oh, do not act so innocent that you have not touched priceless art.
Do you want to tell him what I did?
I don't remember where, but I know you've done it several times.
It's a
where
Greek
you've
statue.
Yeah, you've touched things in the museum that are not to be touched. So
There's a Greek
my
statue.
line of sight,
and
my butt.
And I thought, wow, what would it feel like to touch this Greek statue? So I did. Felt like a statue.
Sir, back up, please. Sir, step back.
Yeah, I wasn't doing anything.
You can't help yourself.
Oh, do people move that slow through balloons? When they're running away from the clowns, they go into this little snake mouth, and they're running through balloons, and they're just like, oh my gosh, oh no. And I always think like, just run through the balloons.
Yeah,
Is it
but
really that like confusing?
I think it's not as visually interesting because it's supposed to kind of act like a slow or like a quicksand
slowing
thing.
them
So
down, yeah.
even though you could probably like run straight through them at full speed, but it would look weird. Like,
Yeah.
think of a person sprinting through a thing of balloons.
They'd
It's like,
just be
wow,
like swatting
stupid.
their arms. Really,
Why did
and
we have
popping a
that
bunch of
scene?
balloons.
But like this is like, yeah, get out of my way. I
Yeah.
can't see where, like, act a little bit more like helpless
Disoriented,
than it is. Because it's not, but it's meant to be like stop those invaders. Oh, good, they went into the balloon room. That'll slow them down.
Which totally looks like you just run around that, by the way.
It's so fun. So fun.
Rach, do you have any good Debbie impressions?
How about enough with the moons, Chief running at the mouth?
We must travel many moons. Many moons. Many.
Enough already with the moons. Lead the way, Chief running at the mouth.
Many moons, many. Yep, I love. Mike has so many classic quotes. Like we already did the another door one, and then the I don't know. He has so many fun things throughout the entire movie.
You love him so much.
My buddy Cody and I, by the way, go support Cody's in Book of Mormon, which is reopening on Broadway in early November. Go check that out. We've always talked about writing Killer Klowns the musical, and I would play Mike, and he would play Officer Movie. It'd be so fun.
No, but now you got to go through Disney to get there.
Yeah, it'd be too hard. The last thing that I have written down to make sure we talk about is somebody who would definitely get a song in Killer Klowns the musical, even though it'd be towards the end, and that is Mullet Cop. You want to explain Mullet Cop?
Oh, her? Oh. It's not so much that she has a mullet. It's more of a perm.
Yeah, she has
really
a permed mullet.
A perm short, hair bob. and these giant, like, Coke bottle glasses. And, like, while the space tent is, like, getting up and taking away or driving away, and they think, like, oh, the clowns are leaving, all of the cops finally get there, and they're just, like, standing in amazement. Like, pans to this woman. It's so great.
Well,
I love her.
The funniest part about it is, the Chiodos were like, this chick has such an interesting look. They go to her 3 times. And none of the other cops get more than once.
Yeah.
She gets 3 takes at different moments
big
in that
glasses,
reaction scene.
big curly hair, and just like staring like open mouth, like
whoa. She looks like she belongs on Bob's Burgers. Like she'd be great on that family.
She does. She looks like a cartoon. Yeah, what's her song called?
I don't know.
Take me with you. It's like a ballad.
Yeah, I think so.
Like she wants to be gone from this world.
Yeah, yep.
Something like that.
Like she loves aliens.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to bring up?
No, I don't think so.
Did we miss any of the kills? I think we got through most of them.
I think we talked about all of our faves, all the notable ones.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's a great time,
all
guys.
40 of them.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Rach, tell us how much fun you had with
watching it,
your rating and review.
Oh, man. Even though I've seen this movie every year for the last, I don't know.
Well,
like,
been married 8.
I was going to say probably 12 years now.
We weren't together that long.
I know, but we didn't watch it while we were together.
I brought it over to your house when we were just buddies.
Yeah, I think so.
We watched it, and everybody fell asleep. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, tell the story the first time
here's
we watched
a moment.
it.
Here is a moment. Rach and I are just friends. I'm secretly in love with her. Johnny's over, my buddy Johnny, who I've mentioned in this podcast a couple times, and then Rach's sisters are there.
Mm-hmm.
We're watching, we watched some movie, we watched Killer Shrews before that.
Yes.
Yep.
Also kind of fun. Black
puppy
and white,
dogs
kind
and
of fun.
costumes. And then we watched Killer Klowns, and everybody fell asleep besides Rach, including my best friend Johnny at the time. Like, are you kidding me? That's why I said at the time, because when he fell asleep, he dropped.
Oh, no.
He's since reclaimed his spot, but he dropped for a while. But everybody fell asleep besides Rach, and it was one of those moments where it's just like, this is the girl.
And that's when you knew?
Yeah.
You were affirmed of your love at that
She's
time?
the girl of my dreams.
And I was watching this film like, this guy's crazy. This is one of his favorite films. He's crazy. But maybe I'm a little crazy too.
Oh, you're crazy. I'm feeling crazy.
Oh, all right. Here is, that's good. I'm glad you remember that story.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. All right, my rating for this. So, the best kept secret in clown thrillers, this cult classic, that's with K's, does not disappoint. If you have the chance to watch this movie with my husband, I highly recommend it. Don't fall asleep. 90%.
Oh, yeah! 90%!
That's up there.
Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. This movie, ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed one of my top 5. And Rach, you've done a couple top 5s for you, right?
Yeah. I can't remember if
yeah, I can't remember either. If
definitely, I've done top 10s. I don't know if they're top 5s.
Yep. Well,
can't remember.
So this was number 5 on my top 5. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I do. I freaking love this movie. This movie is 100%. Every movie on my top 5 is 100%. And I will not be told otherwise. This is a glorious movie in cinema history.
The math is the math. I love that.
So I wanted to get into favorite scary movie ever, which we've kind of talked about, like, what's the scariest movies you've ever seen? Mm-hmm. And I wanted you to rank some of the movies.
Yeah.
Do you want me to kick us off, though?
Yeah, I'm sure we have a lot of crossover.
Okay.
Although I have not seen near as many as scary movies. Are you just want to do a top 5, like a solid 5?
Yeah, I'm going to do, like, I think there's 6 of them on here.
Okay.
Killer Klowns is number 1.
That's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
No, my favorite scary movies.
Oh, I don't have favorite. I have scariest.
Oh, yeah, I just wrote my favorites. Killer Klowns is number 1.
I misunderstood the assignment.
Well, that's okay. You do your list, I'll do mine.
All right.
Halloween is number 2, which I just watched last night. It's so scary, guys. Like, it holds up. I had chills that night. It is number 3. The Friday the 13th remake is number 4. The Exorcist is number 5. And Paranormal Activity 2 is number 6.
Those are all very scary.
Those are my lists.
Where is
Killer
your
Klowns isn't scary.
Hocus Pocus or your Casper or your Nightmare Before Christmas? Where are all those?
I mean, those movies are good, too.
Those movies are great, too. What do you mean
Hocus
good,
Pocus would be close to breaking into that same
it's
stretch.
a fantastic movie. I've
sure.
watched it way too many times, but it's a fantastic movie.
It is fantastic.
We
We should do that for Summers Off.
Deny.
Maybe that next year, maybe it's Ernest Scared Stupid and Hocus Pocus. Don't hold us to that, listeners, but maybe.
We'll put it out there. I thought the homework assignment was Rach come up with the top 5 scariest movies that you've ever seen.
Okay.
Which I thought was like a little not on brand with what we were doing.
Well, tell us what it is.
What I'll say is my other top 5 are probably the ones I just talked about, just now that I brought up.
Yep.
And then add in Killer Klowns statue. Those would all be, in some way, shape, or form in that order.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought we were talking about scariest.
Okay.
And so I also have 6 because 5 is too hard. I don't know what it is about 5.
I don't know either.
It's like 6 would be good.
I'm not going to eliminate one.
All right, starting at number 6, I've got the movie with the doll, Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Oh, that first scene messed me up for a long time.
Yeah.
Still to this day. Ring at number 5. Or what I saw from it from behind my hands. I was on a bus. We watched it on a bus.
Oh, there's no
Bus
running.
ride.
There's
I
no
couldn't
escape.
get away.
And if you do escape,
terrible.
your friends all call you a coward.
Yeah, it was not fun. Conjuring, again, what I saw when I was facing the TV and not turned away, trying to make small talk. Heredity, number 3. Watched it all the way through. I was scared.
Very scary.
That is very scary. That stuck with me. Paranormal Activity.
First one?
I'm going to put them all together. The 1 and 2 that I saw.
Yep.
It's the same scariness.
They're both really good.
And then coming up at number 1 is Halloween.
Yeah,
When
the
you
original
maybe watch
Halloween.
that, the OG.
That was right when we started dating.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got her to watch Halloween right away.
And that's also when I knew that maybe I need to rethink this. He's crazy. I'm crazy.
I'm feeling crazy.
Not that's crazy. And that's probably where my one scary movie a year rule came from. I was like, I better put
watching Halloween?
I gotta put some boundaries around this. Otherwise, he's gonna make me watch this stuff all the time.
Yeah,
I hate it.
There was a point in time where the paranormals really freaked you out, and I feel like that one a year came around in that time period.
Yeah, that probably was
Yeah,
fair.
I think we were maybe in Fairmont.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why.
Which is already a scary place.
I agreed to such a thing, but yeah, don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, folks, hopefully you enjoyed number 2 on our Halloween flicks for the season. I love it. I love Halloween. Rach, when will this release? Do you want to tell people what we're going as for Halloween or not?
Yeah, I think so. It'll be right before.
Yeah, I think so.
So our Halloween costumes, some of you know us on a personal level, you know that we always try to go as couple costume for years.
Yep.
Yeah, I could get into it, but I won't bore your tears with it. But
No,
we always...
Zelda, Link, Nightwing, Batgirl, Blue and Babe. Or no. Blue the Oxen, Paul Bunyan. That's what I meant to say. Babe the Ox. Whatever his name is.
Sonny Cher.
Poppins and Bert.
Han and Leia.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, we've done it. We've done the couples costumes.
Lots of good stuff.
This year, Ty was kind of being a little rogue and decided that he wanted to go as Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights, which, as you know, we love that show. Listen to that.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast if you're into it. But then I thought to myself, what do I go as if we continue this theme, or do I do my own thing? Well, I wasn't ready to say goodbye to doing our couples costumes. So I kind of came down to two options. I could either go as Coach Taylor's wife, Connie Britton.
Yep. A little boring as a costume. People probably won't get it.
People wouldn't know that I was dressed up. It would just be myself with like a jean jacket on. So, but then I thought, why don't we play up this coach theme a little bit? And so I will also be going as a popular coach this year. I will be going as Ted Lasso. So there you have it.
And the little girls, our dogs, have football jerseys, and we will do a little coach off.
We're going to have a coach off.
Yep.
So there
Get
it is.
excited.
Hope you guys have an awesome Halloween.
Yes, enjoy. Listen to these. We probably won't be around for a little while, but we'll see you about maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? It's a mystery.
Bye.
Bye, loves. Look how confident you looked. You just looked at yourself. You didn't look at yourself because you're looking at your phone, but you went, oh, yeah, got this.
I'm ready to talk about this.
You really were. You were like, yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Let's go.
Okay, we were up at the top of the world, and we saw this shooting star, and we decided to go look for it. But instead of finding the shooting star, we saw this circus tent. And that's when we went inside, and that is when we saw those people in those pink cotton candy cocoons. Dave, it was not a circus tent. It was something else.
What?
It was a spaceship, and there was these things, the killer clowns, and they shot popcorn at us. We barely got away.
Killer Klowns from outer space. Holy shit.